Yes, sir, we promised you a great main event here tonight.
Andres, a giant WrestleMania!
Hulkamania is running wild.
My God, what a It's not over. The world is watching.
Everlasting things that most can't see. Fast in fashion never meant that much to me. Ain't worth asking, girl, we can have it all. The shotgun blasting, having ourselves a ball. I know it's late, but your daddy's not done yet. So let's rock this fight till the sunset. I wanna celebrate, rock the whole night away. Hey, we gonna celebrate, yeah.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fan Appreciation Night right here on the Lowdown Show, your Canadian wrestling podcast that talks about the WWE and NXT, most importantly, and no holds barred on anything we say, pun intended. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at No Holds Barred WP. You can follow myself at Real Kyle Masters on Twitter. You can follow my two co-hosts at Michael Chow TV and at HeelTurn21 on Twitter as well. We have an Instagram account, No Holds Barred WP, all in one word, as you can find us on there. If you want to listen to us on the go, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Spreaker is where you can find us. Spreaker is a glorious podcast app available for all Android and Apple devices. Lets you listen to all previous episodes of the podcast, listen live, chat with us live on the air. It is fantastic, guys. Go check it out. It is free to download, free to make a profile, and it is amazing. I can tell you that much. And if you want to watch any video versions of the podcast, youtube.com/NHBWR. Hit that subscribe button, that bell icon for all upload updates. As always, I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and I'm always joined right here on the Lowdown Show by my two fantastic co-hosts. Number one, he is the host, or the co-host, that runs the West Coast. He is Hollywood Michael Chow.
It's Fan Appreciation Night, and you know what that means. That means when the fans' hands go up, our mouths close, because it's all about you, the fans.
Okay, I had to give you a
Hey.
Thank you, Michael Chow. Also, we got our other co-host. He is the modern-day main event Maharaja, Brian at HeelTurn21 on Twitter. What's going on, Brian?
What's up, guys? I'm excited. It's the greatest fan appreciation night, and if WWE Creative doesn't appreciate you, we appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you, Brian, for that thoughtful intro. I was thinking, okay, he's definitely going to mention something about appreciating Jinder Mahal, at least. I was expecting that in the intro, so I'm actually a little bit disappointed.
No. All my main roster
And
Maharajas
just for that,
will be
you're
coming
going to
out.
get the prices right thing. I'm actually shocked you didn't play, or you didn't plug Jinder Mahal at least once.
No. All the little main roster Maharajas will be joining us shortly. Don't worry.
Very good, very good. But guys, thank you for joining No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast and the Lowdown Show. And this is our fan appreciation night. We decided to do one of these episodes. Well, for one, because NXT this week really wasn't anything. Actually, we were shocked because we were thinking also the main roster and Raw and SmackDown was going to be much this week. They actually were like half watchable. I think we were in our own little group chat. We were talking about it, going, man, it was actually like not too bad, right? Like it actually was like half decent.
Yeah, I mean, Raw started off great. It was honestly one of the best first hours of Raw I've seen in months, even before Mania season. But of course, as usual with the 3-hour show, the tail end just jumped off a cliff.
But NXT is one of those. The show is usually after Takeover, or is the pre-recorded show before Takeover. So basically, wasn't going to be much anything this week. There was a little bit of there were 2 matches that really had nothing to do with storyline, rather than actually maybe the War Machine, or sorry, War Raiders. And TM61.
Hey, cease and desist. No more machine.
I'm sorry.
Marvel Comics. Cease and desist.
I messed up. You know what? Myself, Kyle Masters.
You know what? You just made the list.
I just made the list. I made the list. I'm sorry, guys. But Datila joined the live chat. What is going on, Datila? She's here. Hi, everyone. What is going on, Datila? And you were the first one to enter the chat room. So we, Datila, appreciate you on Fan Appreciation Night. Thank you for all your continued support of the podcast and what you've done for the podcast as well, Datila. Thank you very much. So I think I'm gonna do that. Anyone that joins the chat, we gotta give them an appreciation. Maybe I wish I had the round of applause. I should have got that soundboard.
I think we can do it.
Yep.
We can do that. Yeah, Datila. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There we go.
It is fan appreciation, and dude, the support for the show was fantastic. We got a lot, and I mean a lot of fans sending in their tweets.
I was actually shocked. I mean, I was talking. Actually, I was talking to a few of the silent listeners, believe it or not, and a couple of them were actually well-known silent listeners.
What? Vince is listening in?
No, unfortunately not. No.
Is it the big dog?
I didn't really ask them if I could plug their show or anything. I really wanted to, but I was just talking about their show, and they had some exciting news about their show that they just got this week. So we will talk about it off the air. I'm not going off the script in this episode.
Hey, don't go off the script like Big Cass. You know what happens?
Yeah, I don't want Kevin Dunn yelling in my ear and Vince McMahon finishing the job off and kicking me out. So, anyways,
can't reveal our sources.
Big news there. So, again, like I said, guys, thank you for joining in to Fan Appreciation Night, where we're going to appreciate you fans and all the support you've had for this podcast. This podcast has been running since, holy moly, 2014, so what, almost 4 years now that this podcast has been going strong, in addition of the new 2 co-hosts here, Michael Chow TV, and he coming from his podcast was going strong for a year and decided to come join the corporation over here at No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. And Brian, an avid listener of the podcast, and meeting him through the great wrestling community in Twitter and everywhere besides Twitter, but Twitter, like the main source of the wrestling community. It's great how many people you meet along the way, and it's awesome. I got a first taste of that when I went down to New Orleans for WrestleMania this year. It's really insane. The wrestling community is one of the greatest communities in the world right now, and I can definitely vouch for that after the trip I made this year. So, again, thank you to your fans. We want to get one thing out of the way before we get through anything, and that's what the gist of the show is going to be. We are going to go over your fan tweets out there and the questions you've sent into the show. Michael's got a massive list that he's got, and we're going to give some shout-outs to the people that allowed us to give them shout-outs right here on the show. We're also going to do some prizes that are going to be through the trivia questions throughout the show, so if you're on the live chat right now, which is just Attila, or you... what would we call them? The silent listeners out there want to chime in, just make the profile for free. You can chat with us and answer some trivia questions. And all the prizes tonight will be given out by ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. There'll be a t-shirt from that website. They're a great wrestling website, guys. They are one of the sponsors of this podcast, so go check them out, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. You'll be getting prizes for that. And speaking of prizes, we did send out a tweet about the podcast, or about the show, and basically winning an early bird prize, and we had about 6 people that did retweet and like the tweet. One of them, Datila, who is in the chat right now, is part of that early bird prize, so we're going to do the random draw for that. And basically, the winner of that early bird draw will win their shirt of their choosing from ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. The rest of the prizes through the trivia will all be random shirts. I'm not even going to know what shirt you're going to win. You're not going to know what shirt you're going to win until you get it at your house and you open it, and you'll see what shirt you win. All I'm going to need from you guys is the shipping address and your size shirt. You'll have to DM the podcast on Twitter at NoHoldsBarredWP, and we will send you that as soon as possible. And I'd like to thank ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com for making that happen as well. So we'll get the early bird prize thing out of the way. So we have Glorious Greg, MJ, Datila, Bobcat, at Bumwine Bob. I'm assuming a silent listener since he liked and retweeted the tweet, unless he's just a prize scavenger on Twitter.
It's Bobby Roode. Let's be honest. Dude hasn't been doing so well. A free T-shirt might actually lift his spirits.
Maybe. Lady Low Wander and WWE Ramsey Sada or Saida, if I'm saying that right. I'm a little illiterate. I apologize if I butchered the name. But these 6 people are part of the early bird prize draw, so I will do it right now. And the winner, I don't have a drum, so I can't do a drum roll, of the early bird prize for retweeting the tweet promoting this podcast. The winner is Ramsey at Ramsey Saida again. I can't say his name, at WWE Ramsey on Twitter. He is the winner of the early bird prize. Michael Chow, that was through you, so I'll have you contact him after the show and let him know that he won our early bird prize for the
Early bird.
Early bird prize for the early bird. Early bird got the worm.
Our pre-show prize giveaway.
Pre-show. Oh goddamn! We're never having a pre-show. Let's just put that out there. We're not having a pre-show on this show. Anyways, Cupid Girl 125 joined the chat, an avid fan of the podcast. Cupid Girl 125, we appreciate you for your support of the podcast. So again, let's give Cupid Girl a round of applause, guys. Thank you, Cupid Girl. I hope you got my message. I'm going, yes, it's okay, Cupid Girl. We got your message. Thank you very much for that. So now we get the early bird out of the prize. Michael Chow. We're going to start with Michael Chow and his the list of Chow for fan tweets and shout outs for this part of the show. So Michael Chow, I understand the list is long. It's as long as Santa's list. It has to be.
My goodness, this list, holy moly, I don't know what else to say, but real fast, guys, so we only have I wouldn't say a limited time, that makes it sound small, but there is a max limit of how long this podcast is, and we got a massive amount of questions. Because of that, I'm actually going to serve as timekeeper, and we're going to try and keep our answers kind of short. Because we don't want to go off topic, because we want to be able to get to everyone who sent in the questions. Because it's all about the fans today.
Too bad we could get you a WWE bell.
Yeah, so I apologize. I might accidentally cut off Kyle. I might accidentally cut off Ryan. Yeah, to keep the show going. And if our answers seem a little bit short, like we have Vince McMahon in our ears trying to cut our mics off, I apologize. We're just trying to get the show along to fit everything in. But now that I've said that, Kyle, I think you were going to go first because I think you got some tweets, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. So I have the fan tweets that you people tweeted in to the podcast, either using the hashtag AskNHBWP or just tweeting into the show. So we'll actually start with someone who's actually in the live chat right now, and that is Datila. So Datila, thank you for tweeting into your show and tweeting us your tweets. So I'll start off to the first one that I could see here. Here we go.
And share that $5 with us, Datila. She won $5.
My mom owes me Oh, nice. Share that $5. What do you want her to give? Like $1.50 each? Like, what's going on?
I'll take it. That's like a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Jesus. Anyways, Datila, she puts thoughts on Rusev facing AJ at Extreme Rules. Do you think it's a one-time match, or will this feud extend like AJ's feud with Nakamura? This is tough because I think a lot of fans have wanted Rusev to break free from this hold he has with this character and his gimmick of Rusev Day and how much it's gotten over, and people have been wanting to see him in a title match for a long time now. Now he's finally getting his shot against AJ Styles. I'd love for it to extend, but I don't see it extending whatsoever. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I don't see Rusev and AJ having a long feud. The only thing I can possibly see is Rusev being a transitional champion, maybe, to get the whole Daniel Bryan Miz thing going. I mean, you're not gonna have Miz. I mean, it's just kind of weird to me. I don't really see Miz or Bryan beating AJ, but I don't see Rusev beating AJ. So I just think Rusev might be a transitional champion. That's my thought on that.
Okay, Mike, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I think, because Extreme Rules, kind of like what Brian said, it's kind of a transition pay-per-view. As much as I love Rusev, and this is actually kind of funny, you guys remember after the draft, Rusev said he would only appear on SmackDown Live if he was given a WWE title shot. It never happened. They swept it underneath the rug, and sadly he came back anyway to job to John Cena at Battlegrounds. But it's good that he finally gets this. For everyone who saw SmackDown Live, I feel like maybe they might be transitioning Rusev away from Aiden English. And Lana kind of brought it up on an episode of SmackDown. And she says, you're getting over. There's kind of one thing holding you back. So I feel like if I were to make a wild guess, I don't think Rusev is going to win. And I think it might be because of Aiden English. And then they're going to start feuding. But that's my opinion on that.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Tila, for that question. We'll move on to your next question. But I want to see Rusev win the WWE title at least once. It would be so cool to see a WWE title, right? Just like the relief and the payoff from him getting over on his own. It'd just be so good.
Hey, if his former tag team partner Jinder Mahal can hold that championship for 6 months, I think Rusev. I'd be pretty happy if he actually won. And AJ Styles is my favorite wrestler, but
right.
I can let this guy win.
So next tweet by Datila. She puts, not sure if you heard, but WWE blocked Ring of Honor from having a show at MSG. Thoughts, opinions? To be honest, I think that's pretty that WWE has MSG on lockdown. It's pretty cool that WWE has their MSG on lockdown. So I had mixed reaction with this. I read that and I'm going, okay, so yeah, I get the whole that MSG is WWE's homegrown place where they started everything, and it's basically their territory in a sense. But we're not. I think it's just because Vince McMahon is still living in that past when it was the United States was separated by wrestling territories. So I want to say I'm on more the fence of Ring of Honor, saying that these little wrestling companies or these little indie companies that are trying to make it big and try to at least compete with WWE. I think it's fair for them to use MSG as a location. If they know they can fill that arena up, why not have a little competition in WWE? I think it creates better television when there's competition. Look what it did for the Monday Night Wars back when WCW was a major competition. Not saying that Ring of Honor is ever going to get to WCW level, but I honestly, it really pissed me off and ticked me off that WWE actually did that. Why not? Let them have their fun. They're doing it one night out of the entire year. They're not literally going every single month to MSG, or they're going to be going to every hockey arena around the entire United States doing Ring of Honor pay-per-views. They just want to have a really big shebang, and yes, it's falling under WrestleMania weekend, but that weekend, WWE doesn't have plans for MSG. They literally used the Barclays Center, so I don't see what the big problem is here. So, to me, I'm on the side of Ring of Honor. I can't side with WWE over this.
At first I was like, why? What does it really matter? Ring of Honor can sell that place out maybe once a year, maybe. But business-wise, I get it. You know what I mean? If I was MSG and WWE said, hey, we're never coming back if you let this promotion run one time a year, is it really worth them losing the WWE? You know what I mean? I personally, I get it.
They don't even go to MSG anymore. They go to Barclays Center. They don't use it.
They still do house shows that sell out at MSG, so...
once a year? Come on. It's not even televised. ROH planned on televising that event.
But is ROH even going to sell it out?
Probably. It's gotten way more popular. If they got names like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and more indie names, I guarantee you they'll sell it. Look how fast All In sold out. Dude, All In sold out in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's once a year.
Exactly. So this is going to be a once-a-year thing, though.
Let's just say you're MSG, correct? And you just said they might sell out Ring of Honor, okay? I own MSG. So I might sell out with Ring of Honor, or I'm going to sell out twice a year with WWE guaranteed.
Okay, I don't want to look at it from like I'm from MSG standpoint. I'm looking at it as a business
Well, that's
standpoint.
what it
Say
is
like
a
you
business
just
standpoint.
put yourself in the Ring of Honor owner's shoes, and you want to make a name for this brand, and you want to grow it. You're not going to be able to do it if you want to get to these big platforms. And WWE's just saying, "Oh no, you can't because we have history there." And even though we do televised events there, we do a house show once a year. You're not allowed to use it. That's a dick move, in my opinion.
I get it, but at the end of the day, it's all about the money. At the
It's
end of the
not
day, it's all about the
competition.
money.
Ring of Honor is not going to be anywhere close to competition as WCW. So why not just let them have their fun? It's not going to hurt Vince in any way. That weekend, they're all going to be focused on WrestleMania. They're going to be focused in the Barclays Center doing Raw and SmackDown. Nothing is going to be at MSG. So why do they care?
Okay, so then why not be mad at MSG and not WWE?
It's not
you're so
it's not
fu- if
MSG.
it- Yes, it is, because MSG is getting blocked out by WWE. MSG can say, to hell with you, WWE. We're running whatever we want.
Well, I mean, I'm pissed at
It's
WWE,
MSG.
but it's like, okay, I'll include MSG in that. I'm just
I
pissed
would be
that
more
WWE
mad at MSG than the WWE, to be honest, because MSG are the ones that can book whatever the hell they want. And all they got to say is, to hell with you, WWE. I guess the whole beef was WWE's going to Barclay anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So all MSG had to say, you guys are going to Barclay anyway. We're going to run whatever we want.
Right.
WWE cannot go. It's like me going to your house and saying, you cannot watch MTV. It's your house. You can watch whatever the hell you want. It's MSG's house. They can run whatever they want.
Okay,
But they
so
chose
I'll
not.
put most of the blame on MSG, but you got to put some blame on WWE for being dickheads and saying like, "Oh no, you can't
I'm not.
do that."
I 100% agree. Assholes. Like
Yeah.
let everyone else have their piece of the pie. You know, the marks are gonna show up to an MSG ROH house, and they're gonna show up to. They can run back-to-back nights, and they're both gonna sell out.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's MSG. I mean, you can't force someone to not run a show in your own house. You know what I mean?
Okay. So very quickly in the chat, I forgot to do it. Glorious Greg did join the chat. So Glorious Greg, for this being Fan Appreciation Night, we appreciate you. Let's give him a round of applause. Glorious Greg. And he's actually our Fan of the Year for this year. So Glorious Greg, you'll get that perfect honor. So we also got Roland I'm so sorry, I butchered it. Roland's in
Big
it.
Cass?
Roland.
Let it go, bro. It's fine.
Roland, you had some audio issues. Try refreshing the app, bro. It might work for you. So we appreciate you. Give you a round of applause. And we
Just a
also
quick
got
shout out.
and Val as well.
And I think Val actually has a question in the fan tweet. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you, Val.
I think that's
Yeah,
it for
shall
Datila.
we move on?
Oh no, I
That was
got
a
one
good
more
talk.
from Datila. Yeah, it was a good talk. I got so this is from Datila again. I think the tag team division on both brands is pretty stale. Yes, I'm gonna have to agree. Where's AOP? Why bring them up if there's nothing for them to do? Now I was gonna say the same thing about Sanity, but we just seen Sanity finally this week. The whole thing with AOP, I think for a while, and I was one of those people who was like, okay, so as soon as AOP gets called up to the main roster, Roman Reigns' bodyguards, correct? Like these guys are literally, they're Samoan. They got vests just like Roman Reigns. They got Paul Ellering, a really badass manager. Why not turn Roman Reigns heel and have two giant guys protecting him? It would be. Do you know how much better people would react to Roman Reigns? They wouldn't boo him for the sake of literally hating his guts. They would boo him for being a heel and a legit heel. Like you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be booing him for why they're booing, the reasons why he's getting booed now. People sick of hearing him, people sick of seeing him and not wanting him off, and just wanting him off TV. Like he's not getting legitimate heat. So I think that was the original thing they should have done. I know it's a little bit of a fantasy booking, but as for AOP, I think it's just they have nothing for them. I really think that they're just waiting. They're on the sides waiting for them to get into the tag team division. But I do agree both tag team divisions are pretty stale right now. They're even like putting teams together that aren't really tag teams. It sucks, man. The Revival should be a top team on Raw, and nothing's going on with them. You look at SmackDown, it's just all over the place. You had looks like something's going to be done with Daniel O'Brien with the Bludgeon Brothers. I'm hearing rumors that Ty Dillinger might be in the mix with that. They might be teaming up Dillinger and Daniel O'Brien for a tag team title match, maybe. We'll see what happens with that. But as for the tag team, yeah, both are stale. They really need a big revamp sometime soon. Or it's almost like the main roster booking and the creative people focus on one thing and they literally forget about everything else. That's why me and Michael, and I know Brian, I know you're starting to like NXT too and starting to come around. That's why we like NXT, because they focus on everything. They put what needs to be on TV for the right reasons, and everyone that doesn't belong on TV that has nothing to do, and keep them off TV. That's why I love the way they book NXT. They should be booking the way they book NXT on the main roster, and cut the 3-hour crap on Raw, because literally that's way too much space, and it sucks. It really sucks. The tag team division does need a big overhaul. But what do you guys think?
Brian, why don't you go first?
I mean, yeah, tag team wrestling in the WWE is just not even, second, third, fourth on the list. It doesn't. I mean, no one really cares. It's. I mean, the whole AOP thing. Even if you did bring them up, what are they going to be doing with them? There's nothing to do with them. So I guess it's just best to keep them off.
Roman Reigns, bodyguards.
But he's a baby face. He's the big dog. He doesn't
they
need
need
any
to
backup.
push him heel. This would be the perfect time to push him heel. They
If
should
you're
have
gonna
had
push him heel,
him.
put him with the Usos.
They should have had Roman Reigns in a title match. Him playing the whole baby face, and have AOP come out and freaking do like a Shield power bomb. Like bring that out. Like people would start. I think people would get on board with that. And they did that whole thing. I remember I was there at the Raw after WrestleMania where they walked away from Paul Ellering, and literally they did nothing after that. We had no talk about it. There was no mentions about why they did that. It was just never seen them again after.
I mean, if you wanted to do the Roman Reigns heel tag team, you do the Usos. You draft the Usos to Raw. They're the gangsters. They go up to Roman and be like, hey, these fans boo you. Why do you, fight for them? You join the Uso Penitentiary, and there you go. There's the three gangster Samoans.
I mean, yeah, they should have done something like that for SmackDown. They could have moved Roman over to SmackDown and keep Seth Rollins on Raw, and have Seth Rollins be the dude running Raw, and have Roman running SmackDown to get more eyes on SmackDown.
Yeah, and then SmackDown tag team division took a dump, and it's funny because we were all complaining about the New Day versus the Usos, how it was boring and stale, blah, blah, blah. Never put on a bad match. And it's one of those things like, well, I guess we didn't know what we had until it's gone, Because now it's just, there's no such thing as a tag team division on SmackDown.
Right. I don't know if you have any input for that, Michael, but it's pretty self-explanatory a little bit.
I do want to bring up the fact that AOP was actually on main event this week, so they're not being used on the main roster, but they are.
Oh wait! Stop
I swear
it.
to gosh,
I
swear, I read the results for main event, and they were actually. I
hope you read and didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it, but I swear I read that AOP was actually on main event this week, so they're doing something. But I also want to throw out the fact that Sanity. Dude, they stopped playing their vintages, and then out of nowhere they said, "Hey, Sandy's gonna take on Usos tonight." I mean, God forbid they save it for a pay-per-view debut, but oh well. At least I enjoyed the segment. Usos are now jobbing now for some reason. I don't know. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping we get a Sanity and Nikki Cross versus the Usos and Naomi at Extreme Rules. I think that would be a good mixed tag match. But
that'd be sick.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my opinion. They're probably keeping them because they literally – WWE has a problem. What they do is after these big pay-per-views, the big four, they try and throw out all of these NXT call-ups because they're trying to get the ratings in. And once they do, they call up way too many people. They don't know what to freaking do with them. And the writers, they're like too busy trying to extend these feuds, which we don't want to see. Like, do we need to see the Club versus the Bludgeon Brothers 2 nights in a row? It's I don't know what to say.
Please don't disagree with me. You know in the back of Vince McMahon's mind, he's shitting all over some of the NXT talent that he doesn't like because A, they're not homegrown, and B, he's jealous of how good NXT and the reaction NXT gets from the indie fans and the fans that Vince wants to get eyes on WWE for. He does it on purpose. You can't tell me and sit there he doesn't do it on purpose for a lot of people, a.k.a. Bayley, a.k.a. The Revival, Ty Dillinger, except a few. I mean, like you look at like the few that are getting the big push that are not getting as big of a push because of the jealousy I think Vince McMahon has for some of the NXT talent and what NXT has done with these stars.
I'm very confused about AOP because it's just up Vince's alley.
Right?
They're Samoan. They're big, sweaty Samoan men.
That is one of the exceptions.
You know,
I'm
Vince
actually
loves
very, very shocked that they're not getting as big of a push. Like, Revival, understood. That's why I fear for some of the talent they have right now at NXT whenever they get called up. Man, like they had Leo Rush. I know he kind of, put himself in that boat, but now he's on 205 Live, and I actually had hope for 205 Live, and I thought there were all these plans for 205 after WrestleMania, but literally they've taken a left turn, and I'm going, what the hell? Where are all these plans that they said they were coming out for 205 Live to get people eyes on? And there was talks of them moving to a different time slot and maybe going to Full Sail and then being down there on Wednesday nights. Like, I don't get it. They're not. It's 205 Live is basically just a main event for the cruiserweights, like the main event show. I don't know. Anyways, thank you, Datila, for your tweets and your appreciation and your love for the podcast. Let's move on. We got Gilly at Greg the Gamer, who is in the chat as Glorious Greg, his former name, his I guess you can call his previous gimmick. I do want to agree with Roland. He just put in the chat, everyone NXT TakeOver is outshining the main roster's pay-per-views every single time. I agree. Every single time there is a TakeOver, it surpasses the following WWE pay-per-view. It's been like that for literally the last year or two. So, anyways, the tweets from Glorious Greg are as follows. How would you feel about the coronation of Rusev Day happening at SummerSlam? I feel like AJ and Rusev will have a great match at Extreme Rules and could extend their feud to SummerSlam. So we kind of tied that into Datila's question. We think it's just going to be a one-off Glorious Greg, and AJ is going to move on to something else at SummerSlam. I actually heard some or very interesting, I guess they're theories or the little rumblings happening. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the cookie jar has been opened up again. And they're digging into it to bring someone back for SummerSlam to boost up SummerSlam. That now they already have a match at the Australian event. Now it's being said that he might have a match at SummerSlam. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about The Undertaker. Now the current rumors and rumblings is that he might be facing a high caliber star as an AJ Styles at SummerSlam.
Oh, the dream match that everyone says they've been wanting.
I hope it's better than a 2 minute. Like they did with this dream match, but we got at WrestleMania. It was 2 minutes long.
I think AJ Styles has. I think AJ Styles can spare 5 minutes for a.
Do we know if Taker can move without a crutch? Because for what I got at WrestleMania, I was there live. That guy can't fucking move anymore. He can't move. That was a 2 minute lazy match. It was better than Roman's match from last year, and it was only 2 minutes long. But can Undertaker have a legitimate 10 to 15 minute match anymore? If not, why the fuck do they keep bringing him back? Leave him alone.
Ratings,
Jesus.
Well, you guys are talking about the dead man Undertaker. They're gonna bring back American Badass Undertaker.
Oh, and he's magically
he's like 10 years younger. So
okay. He's gonna look exactly like he did back in 2003, right?
Yeah, the bandana and everything. The bandana is where his secret powers lie.
Yeah, right. I'm sure he's going to be parking his motorcycle in the handicap spot because he's so freaking old.
But if that's the case, I mean, if they're going to bring back an old guy for AJ, why not just do HBK?
Yeah, there are rumblings about that. I've read that they're actually thinking about doing reuniting DX for next year's WrestleMania to have a one of those matches.
Please.
Yeah, Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus another tag team.
You mean I gotta see like over 50-year-old men doing crotch chops?
It was Shawn. I hate this. I hate when wrestlers retire and then come back. Don't do that. You're retired. You stay retired. Shawn Michaels, you chopped literally all your hair off. I thought for sure that was gonna be a sign that you ain't getting back in the ring anymore. I cannot watch a match with Shawn Michaels with a buzz cut in the ring. There's no way in hell that's gonna happen. Nuh-uh. I can't do that. It was already a big shock when Undertaker revealed that Hell in a Cell match, he took his head off and using a fucking Chuck Liddell haircut. That threw me in a loop. I cannot watch Shawn Michaels with the same thing going on at WrestleMania. It's just Shawn Michaels and his hair is iconic. They go hand in hand, right?
Just give Michaels the Hulk Hogan bandana and you'll be good to go. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways,
See,
I got no comment for that.
Oh man.
Anyways,
Awkward pause.
yeah. Next tweet from Glorious Greg. Also, with the Bludgeon Brothers now being involved with Daniel Bryan, could we see the return of Mayor Kane and Team Hell? No. I'm going to stop that tweet right there. Absolutely not, Glorious Greg. How dare you tweet that into the show? Do not bring up Kane. He's running. He won. He's the mayor of, Knoxville, Tennessee. Leave him alone. Leave that guy alone. He's got better things to worry about than coming back, putting a dirty old mask on in a singlet that he probably never wants to wear again in his life. Leave the guy alone. That's it.
I mean, they gave you a softball there. The only answer to that question is hell no.
Exactly. Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you, Brian.
Bravo.
I'll be here all night. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'll give you a perfect 10, Brian. There you go. Just for that. Holy shit. Anyways, that's it for the tweets that were sent to the show, I believe. Oh no, we missed one. I'm sorry. I apologize. And that is, I think MJ sent in twice. I believe, Michael, you have her on your list, and she did also send one into the show via Twitter. So
I think it's the same one, so why don't you just go ahead and read yours?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave some for you too.
Dude, have you seen my freaking list?
I've seen the list. I've seen.
The more you take off, the better. Go ahead and.
Anyways, she puts, what are your predictions for SummerSlam matchups? Okay, so since that we can't sit here and go through the entire card.
How about we all just pick like one? So there would be like 3 matches.
Okay, so what I really want to see, I wish it's for the title, but it's not going to be. But I'm hating that they're starting this feud now. Sasha Banks and Bayley for a rematch. It looks like this is going to be early and quick fire, just like WWE does all the time, and going to be at Extreme Rules with no rematch after that. But it looks like that feud started, and I'm glad they have, but I'm pissed off it is actually not for the title.
You see, that's exactly why Sasha Banks should have won Money in the Bank, and that's why she should have cashed in on either Nia Jax or Ronda Rousey, and then it could be Sasha versus Bayley for the title at SummerSlam, like we've been wanting. But Vince, Sasha, she complains too much, but I'm gonna lock her down to a 3-year contract.
Although I agree with that, and I like that prediction, I have a better one. You know, they should have done, if they were really so high in Alexa Bliss and Vince can't stop having a boner for Alexa Bliss, then they should have just have her won Money in the Bank. Like, listen to me. Have Ronda or Nia, whoever wins at Money in the Bank, win the title. Feud with Sasha Banks or Bayley, whoever they want, for the title at Extreme Rules, which I think it should be Sasha Banks. Have them win the title there, leading to Sasha Banks versus Bayley at SummerSlam for the title, and then you could have Alexa Bliss cashing in at SummerSlam, and then you can have your big Alexa Bliss moment. And that's what they should have done, not the bullshit we got last Sunday. That's what I would have done.
All I heard was Vince McMahon, boner, and Alexa Bliss. That's all I got. Man. I think we all have a boner for Alexa Bliss. Damn it! Don't even say you don't.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie, but I mean, the way they're booking her is absolutely trash. Literally, she's getting the Roman treatment, and they're shoving her down her throats the last year, man. And she's getting opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I literally think it should have been either Ember Moon or Sasha Banks winning that briefcase at Money in the Bank. It shouldn't have been Alexa Bliss. As much as the Alexa Bliss fan people want to come out and give shit about that, it was not her place to win the briefcase at all. And especially that they made her cash in the same night. Like, give me a fucking break, really? And they made a stupid little t-shirt cashing in on a moment of bliss. Like, give me a fucking break. But anyways, to the live chat, we got Tonic Coin at 29. Thank you for joining in on Fan Appreciation Night, and that means we appreciate you and giving you a round of applause. Thank you for joining the chat, Tonic Coin 29. What's going on, brother? So yeah, that's my match. I would.
I'm sorry, real fast. Keep it girl. She has a question, but there's a question about her message in the fan tweet. So Cuba girl, hang on. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah. But yes, I would pick Sasha Banks and Bayley for the championship, but I know it wouldn't somehow happen. So I'm hoping they do Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe for the WWE title.
Brian?
I already lost. I don't even remember the question. I'm still on Vince McMahon, Boner,
Oh,
and Alexa
stop.
Bliss.
Stop. That's enough.
Get
That's
out
enough.
of here. We
That's
didn't talk
enough.
about Roman once.
That's
How's
enough.
there? Yeah, Brian. So, MJ asked about any prediction matches for SummerSlam. Would you like to name one?
Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar. Your new champion.
Oh, my
Jinder
God. Yeah,
Oh
we got
my.
crickets for that. Oh, yeah. Everyone wants to see that match.
Could it be with a steroid syringe on a pole match? So first guy to get up the pole gets to inject himself on live television.
Oh,
No?
man. You know
No.
it'd be freaking
You get Jinder Mahal winning the main title.
Oh,
you
my
get-
God.
You get Ziggler losing to McIntyre for the IC title. And what's the other dude from 3MB?
Heath Slater.
Slater wins the tag team
Wow.
titles with Rhino.
Main
That's
event
my
Maharaja.
pay-per-view
Eh?
prediction.
Okay.
3MB
Very
just ruled
interesting
WWE.
prediction.
Okay. Well, in that case, since we're throwing stuff like that, I just want to say all members of 3MB is on the same brand now. So my prediction for SummerSlam is Heath Slater versus Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre for the Universal Championship. Book it in, baby.
Okay, so I already see a problem. Where do you fit Brock Lesnar in there?
Oh, let's see here.
He's
not
got
around
to be
anyway,
in
so.
it. He's got to be. He's not going to show up till SummerSlam. So or the
Braun
night before.
Braun Strowman defends his Money in the Bank briefcase against Heath Slater. He loses. Heath Slater then cashes in on Brock Lesnar, and then we have the triple threat.
I apologize, MJ. I tried answering your question.
Okay,
truthfully
I'm sorry,
and
sorry,
honestly
sorry.
here, and we got
I'm
these guys over
sorry.
here being
And
the
you guys are
jobbers.
Roman has to be in the main event, so don't forget your special guest referee. For
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm sorry, I was kidding around, but since Brian brought up Roman, this is an actual legit prediction. Okay, I feel like since Seth Rollins lost the Intercontinental Championship, and by the way, he should have lost it to Elias. I don't know why they did this. Probably setting up.
Wait,
Ziggler
he
versus
lost what
McIntyre.
championship?
The Intercontinental Championship.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said Universal title for a second.
Yeah,
there. I'm like, what the hell is
Universal-
what's a Universal title?
The Universal title is just lost in general.
What is that?
There you go.
Do we have a milk? Is there? I thought I saw a milk carton for that. Was it a missing? Is that a missing title? I feel like it should be a title for something, but I really don't remember.
It's the title that looks like a fruit rolled up. You know what I'm talking
Oh yeah, I think I saw it at WrestleMania, but I was too busy walking out of that match. Right.
about. Yikes. But back to what I was saying. So Seth Rollins lost the Intercontinental Championship. So I believe, and I think I told you guys about this before the show went on the air, I think they're going to try and go for a WrestleMania rematch from WrestleMania 31 when Seth Rollins cashed in on Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. So I'm predicting it's going to be a triple threat match. Brock Lesnar defending Universal Championship against Seth Rollins and Vince's baby boy, Roman Reigns. Triple threat.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, if you guys want a serious prediction, I still think I'm going with the obvious. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, they beat the crap out of each other. Roman wins, and Strowman cashes in immediately.
Okay.
It's so easy, so easy.
Okay. Anyways, I think that's all the tweets that we got. So before we move on to Michael Chow, we have a lot of people in the chat right now, so I want to get this done. So we are going to play round 1 of trivia. No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast Trivia. For your chance to win a mystery t-shirt from our sponsor, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. So you answer this question right. First person to put the answer in the live chat or DM us on Twitter will win the first prize. That is a mystery shirt from our sponsor, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. Again, like I said in the beginning of the show, if you weren't here for that, please, if you do win a prize, just send us your shipping info in a DM on Twitter with your shirt size, and you will win a mystery t-shirt. Can't tell you what it is. I don't even know what it's going to be. They won't tell you what it's going to be. You'll see when you get it at the door. So we'll go into the first question here, and I'll randomly pick it. So, guys, what do you think we should do? We should do, give me a category. We got pay-per-views, NXT, or old school.
Let's go old school.
You think old school?
I
Old
think we
school.
should make it a little hard to start off.
A little hard to start off. Okay, I like this. So, Okay. This is sort of hard and sort of easy. How about that? I don't think a lot of people are going to get it, so we'll see. In the summer of 1987, the WWF introduced an enforcer who would serve in a referee capacity. This enforcer promised to maintain order, but his stint lasted just 2 months. Who was he? So, to all you people in the chat, that is your first trivia question. In the summer of 1987, the WWF introduced an enforcer who would serve in a referee capacity. This enforcer promised to maintain order in his stint, but it just lasted 2 months. Who was he? So, the first person to answer that question in the live chat will win the first prize of the night. So, I think it's a good one. I don't know you guys. Do you think that's a good one? I know you guys have the questions in front of you. It's pretty hard. If you really have to think about this one, and it is old school. I mean, 1987. Like, are you talking about like the Hulk Hogan era? You got Ric Flair was an NWA. I think I'm not sure if Macho Man was around at the time. I think Roddy Piper was around. I remember that. But this is around the era too, where they literally had one pay-per-view and one event a month. So yeah. Roland, I don't know if you heard the trivia question. I'll repeat it again. Trivia question is: in the summer of 1987, WWF introduced an enforcer who would serve in a referee capacity. This enforcer promised to maintain order, but his stint lasted just 2 months. Who was he? So, the first person
I actually got an answer
tweeted
you do? To me, if I can read it out. But the answer is Rowdy Piper, but that is not correct. That's the tweet I got.
Oh, so I will play it. Yeah, I'll play that sound. Bum, bum, bum. No, that is the incorrect answer, but close. You're close.
Close.
You're treading the right waters right now.
Yeah, and that was from one of my coworkers, Sal. So big shout out to Sal. Thanks for tuning in. First timer.
Mm-hmm. I just want to point out there. I just read on Twitter that Montez Ford and Bianca Belair are actually getting married tomorrow. So, congratulations to them. Big people of NXT. And thanks to 20 years today, Edge made his WWE television debut. So there's some other fun facts. So 20 years to this day. Also, the question is pretty hard. Not a lot of people are putting in the chat. I bet you people are trying to Google it. Oh, boy. Joining the chat, former co-host of No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, Corporate Cappy, and his new stuff, Discussions with Cap. You guys go check it out. He's doing a lot of new stuff on his Twitter or his YouTube account, so go check him out and follow him on there. He's putting Rasmus Dahlin as the answer to all trivia questions tonight. Him a big Buffalo Sabres fan. Congratulations to them on getting the first overall pick in the NHL draft. But yes, it's a very tough question, man. It's very tough. So I'll repeat it again. In the summer of 1987, WWF introduced an enforcer who would serve in a referee capacity. There's a hint right there. This enforcer promised to maintain order, but his stint just lasted only 2 months. Who was he? So tweet at No Holds Barred WP, or you can tweet at one of the co-hosts, or you can DM us on Twitter as well.
I think we may, if we'll give it a couple more seconds, but I think we may have to move on to a different question.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Set up.
Yeah, I do have another one. I do have another one that someone should get, because the other one is old school, but it's I'm gonna put Ruthless Aggression era, so that's kind of old school. So. Is it Arn Anderson? No, Roland. Just for that, again, I got to play the sound. No, that is not the answer. And no, Cupid Girl, it's not Blissful Cappy either. So we'll move on, and I'll say the answer, guys. We'll move on. That was a really hard one, but you had to look between the lines. Referee capacity, if you remember, the answer is Mr. T. Only lasted 2 months in the WWF.
And I pity the fool who didn't answer this question right. Pity the fool.
Beautiful. Anyway, so we'll move on. I'll give you guys a little easier one. Ruthless Aggression Era. So put your minds back in the Ruthless Aggression Era from the year 2001. I got her 2002. Oh, no, let's move it over. 2002 to 2004-ish. And then 2005 and 2006 kind of made their own mini era. So we'll bring that question out. And here we go. Here it is. Who won the WWE Women's Championship at Unforgiven 2002 and shortly went on to feud with Victoria and lose the title to her at Survivor Series 2002? So who won the WWE Women's Championship at Unforgiven 2002 and shortly went and had a feud with Victoria and then lost the title to her at Survivor Series 2002? So that should be a little bit easier. You're thinking about the Women's Championship around that time. There should be one name that sticks out to you, and it probably is the answer. It might not be, who knows? But they feuded with Victoria in 2002 and then lost the title to her at Survivor Series 2002, which I do remember that pay-per-view. James. No, Corporate Cappy, it was not James Ellsworth. He would not be giving you that T-shirt code. So you relax over there. It was not James Ellsworth. So I don't know if you guys got an answer or not.
No, I'm looking through my tweets. I don't see anything yet.
No. And we got a winner.
Oh, there we go.
Ding, 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 ding. I'll play the bell. There you go. Datila wins, and the answer is Trish Stratus. So Trish Stratus won the WWE Women's Championship at Unforgiven 2002 and shortly went on a feud with Victoria and lost it to her at Survivor Series 2002. Corporate Cappy, I am ashamed of you. And I know you probably did it on purpose. I know. But I'm ashamed you didn't put her. How dare you? But anyways, thank you, Datila, for winning the first prize of the night. We'll be coming in contact with you over DMs for your mystery shirt from our sponsor, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. So, now that's out of the way, Michael Chow, I know you got some, I guess, a big list. I don't know who's made that list, but
it's a big list, bro. So I may have to borrow 3 hours from Monday Night Raw to get all these questions in. But everyone, seriously, thank you so much. This fan appreciation night was kind of last minute. We kind of threw it together, so all the support we got was just absolutely. So thank you so much, and all the fan interaction in the live chat right now. It's absolutely incredible. So we're going to take it to your guys' fan tweets. Also, after I take a question, I'm also going to promote you guys because, hey, it's our thank you to you for sending in your fan tweets. I'm going to tell people how to reach you and other stuff that we can do to promote you guys. So the very first tweet comes from the chairman, and you guys can find him on Twitter at chairmansv. So his question was kind of the same as MJ. Any predictions for SummerSlam? Let's go ahead and get in one more match, guys. But as timekeeper, can you guys keep your answers short? So real fast, guys, give me another SummerSlam prediction match you guys think is going to go down. Kyle, go first.
Another SummerSlam prediction match thing is going to go down. I really hope it's not The Undertaker and AJ Styles because I actually don't want to see that as a big Undertaker fan here. If the plan is to keep AJ Styles with the WWE title, I'd love to see AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan go at it in at least a 25 to 30 minute WWE Championship match. That'd probably be an ultimate dream title match, and it would probably steal the show for SummerSlam. And without a shadow of a doubt, it would probably be the match of the whole weekend. It would even be I think anything at Takeover. So I'd love to see Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles WWE title at SummerSlam.
All right, Brian, how about you? Another SummerSlam match you think might be going down?
Yeah, I think we're going to have, and we just saw her getting suspended for 30 days, which kind of lines up perfectly with the build-up to SummerSlam. It's going to be Rousey versus Alexa Bliss.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think their whole, they don't want to burn her out. They're going to let her stay, we can't miss her if she's always there. She'll be back just in time for the build, and I think that's maybe when you get your Rousey title win.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's real good. And for me, I'm going to say, based on what happened on SmackDown Live this week, I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. I think it's time. We've been waiting for this match for a very, very long time. So for me, it's going to be Miz versus Daniel Bryan. Is it going to be for the WWE Championship? We have no idea. Hopefully it is, but this should be a really good feud. All right, so. Oh, am I hearing myself? Okay, never mind. I was hearing myself. Someone might have had speaker on. So anyway, that'll do it for the tweet from the chairman. Thank you so much to him. Guys, follow him on Twitter at ChairmanSV. He also does weekly SmackDown Live reviews for HTCWrestling.com. And I've actually read him a lot of the SmackDown Live reviews he does. He's really on point. So guys, go ahead and make sure you check that out. So thank you so much to the chairman. All right, we're going to go.
Val in the live chat has a prediction. Miz versus Daniel Bryan. I'd love to see that too. So quickly, just shout out to Val there in the chat for that matchup.
Sweet. There we go. Great mind thinks alike. So we're going to move on to our next fan tweet. It actually comes from our first contest winner from tonight. It comes from Ramsey. And by the way, guys, sorry if we butcher your names. Sorry. But it comes from. I know Kyle had a problem saying it earlier, but it comes from Ramsey.
I can admit I'm illiterate.
Ramsey Sidowi. Apologize if I'm getting it wrong. You guys can reach him on Twitter at WWE Ramsey. His question is, and this has to do with Cuba Girl's question a little bit earlier. Ramsey says, what is the real reason why so many fans are turning on Alexa Bliss after her title win? So I think he's referring to the fact that some people were kind of critically booing Alexa Bliss or talking down that, that she's won again at Money in the Bank. So, Brian, this time let's start with you. Why do you think fans are kind of turning on Alexa Bliss, or why is she getting a little bit of booze?
I mean, there's no booze on my end over here. I'm fine with her keeping the title for the rest of the. She can keep it forever. Forever champion Alexa Bliss.
I don't agree. I think we've seen enough Alexa Bliss in the last year, man. Look, why are we getting the whole rinse and repeat again with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax? They already announced that she's getting a rematch with Nia Jax at Extreme Rules. Why? We already seen this feud building into WrestleMania. Why do we need to see this again? Why was the reason done for Alexa Bliss winning the briefcase and cashing in the same night? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it was literally a waste. It should have gone to someone more deserving. There were so many people in that match that we'd rather see win the briefcase. I think that's why we're getting so much hate on Alexa Bliss. You have women like Becky Lynch, who's been fighting and clawing for at least something. I mean, she's won the women's title once, and she had that big matchup at WrestleMania 32, where she was kind of undershadowed in that match. It was really about Sasha and Charlotte, if you really think about it. You have Ember Moon, who could have been a nice dark horse pick in that match. Maybe they could have went with Lana and Rusev as dual briefcase winners. I know it sounds corny and fantasy booking wise, but I mean it works. They could have done some big storyline with that. It's something other than Alexa Bliss. I think Alexa Bliss was the obvious and too much obvious pick, and they went with her. And it was just, to me, it just was piss poor booking. In a sense where that's literally why the reason she's getting all this heat and all this not even legitimate heat, what the fuck, go away heat, almost like Roman Reigns heat. So I really don't agree that this was the right reason why. Mm-hmm. And I actually agree with the fans booing her.
There we go. All right, Kyle. And for me, it's the fact that the feud has stretched way too long, and if you ask me, it wasn't even a good feud between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. The match was mediocre. The second match after that, Backlash, is who cares? It's seeing that title back on someone who's held that title for so long that this person really doesn't need it. This has nothing to do with Alexa Bliss. It's just creative. They're really... I don't know why they're doing this, but yeah. So I've always said that, once again, push someone way too much, have this person win too much, fans are going to start to turn. And I've talked about it on our podcast several times about how Braun Strowman's getting way too over since Elimination Chamber. It's going to come a point where fans are going to start turning on Braun Strowman too. So easy on the creative side, but... yeah, that's my reason for it. Alexa Bliss really didn't need this title back because she held it already for too long. So that comes from Ramsey. So, guys, make sure you give him a follow at WWE Ramsey at Twitter. He is also an owner of his own website called Rumbling Rumors. You guys can check that out on another Twitter account at Rumbling Rumors on Twitter. You can also check out his website, rumblingrumors.com. It's an excellent website. They do news. They do all this great stuff. So, guys, make sure you check out Ramsey. And before we move on to the next one, is it time for another prize giveaway? Kyle?
I think it's going to be time for another prize giveaway. That's the sound the trivia music is playing. That's time for another trivia question right here on the Fan Appreciation episode of The Lowdown Show. And we'll go to question number 2, and we're going to spin the imaginary category wheel, and we're going to land on NXT. Yes.
Woo.
The show myself and Michael Chow love to review every single week. Originally on the Lowdown Show, but for this episode, it is fan appreciation based. So this is an interesting question. It's a little bit easy, so for you NXT nerds out there, you might get this right away. So the question is, and for you guys in the live chat, get ready to put the answers down. Which NXT woman and current roster star did Dana Brooke face at NXT TakeOver Respect? So which NXT woman and current roster star did Dana Brooke face at NXT TakeOver Respect? So a very interesting NXT question. She was a former NXT star and is a current roster star, our main roster star right now, and she faced off against Dana Brooke at the TakeOver pay-per-view entitled NXT TakeOver Respect. First person, Tatila, you are exempt from this, by the way, because you won one prize. If you do win a prize, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be exempt from winning. So only the people that haven't won a prize yet write in your answers in the live chat or tweet at us at NoHoldsBarredWP, or you can send a DM to one of the co-hosts or myself on Twitter as well, and you will be automatically entered in to win this prize, and you can win the prize. So a very, very easy question. At NXT TakeOver Respect, this NXT star and former NXT star and current main roster star, we got the answer. There we go. We have a winner. And that is Val in the chat. Val puts the answer Asuka, and that is correct. Asuka is the one who defeated Dana Brooke at NXT TakeOver Respect. So Corbin Cappy with the James Ellsworth answer again. So close.
I can't believe Asuka pulled off that win against Dana Brooke. Dana Worldwide.
And you know what? How do we know it wasn't James Ellsworth dressed as Asuka?
The buck stops here with me. I'm not even gonna. Roland, thank you for that answer. You were right, but Val beat you to the punch. So Val, thank you for sending in that answer. Please DM myself or one of the two co-hosts with your shipping info and your shirt size, and you will be receiving a free T-shirt from our sponsors, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. So thank you for that. And that is over for the second round of the Holds Bar Wrestling Podcast Trivia.
Yes. I mean, yeah, Cappy, you were right. It was Asuka, but not James Ellsworth Asuka. So I guess you're 50% right.
Stop it. That's enough out of you.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets everywhere.
Hang on, I got him.
But anyway,
there you go.
Hey, I'm disagreeing with the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, congratulations to Val. She actually has a question. It's going to be coming up in just a little bit. So, Val, thank you very much, and congratulations. So, let's go ahead and get back into the fan tweets, guys. So, our next fan tweet comes from Cece, and you guys can find her on Twitter at Candice Cordelia. She has a couple of questions. So first and foremost, her first question is, what do you guys think about Ronda Rousey's ascent into the WWE? Brian, let's start with you. How's Ronda Rousey doing?
I think the slow and steady is going to be the best thing for her. Like I said, getting rid of her for the next month, making us kind of miss her for 30 days, have her, she's on the right track. They're not overdoing it with her. Yeah, she might win the title at SummerSlam, but I think by that point, fans are going to be like, well, who else should have the title at this point? I really wish she would have just came in and been the female Brock Lesnar. We saw a little bit of that on Raw, but I think the slow burn for Rousey is probably the best way, which is what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Kyle, how's Ronda Rousey doing in the WWE so far?
Well, she's doing... Okay, so what? We can base her off, 2 matches, right? And I don't know if I can call her first match an entire, or second match an entire match. Yeah, we got the big whole big pop factor at WrestleMania. Like, she wasn't going to get that reaction at WrestleMania. Like, it was an eye turner for a lot of, and I went nuts at WrestleMania. I marked out, and I'm a big Ronda Rousey fan. Like, I appreciate that she's actually put in the work to get better her craft in WWE. I know she's been a big fan all her life, and there's a lot of critiques on people who are fans that become wrestlers. But, I mean, you look at a girl like Bayley who worked all her life to become to this point, which is good. I mean, Ronda Rousey has worked her whole life, not to get to WWE in a sense. Like, she wanted to be a mixed martial artist, but she worked hard her entire life at what she does. And I love that they can incorporate that into wrestling. But before she even made her debut, she was in the Performance Center for 7 to 8 months training and getting better at the wrestling craft in the ring. It's not like she just came fresh out of the cage of UFC and right into a WWE ring. Like, she had time to train. She had time to work on promos. And if I can only have one critique for Ronda Rousey right now, is the smiling has got to fucking stop. Oh my God. Like, this literally has to stop. The over smiling is literally killing her whole gimmick. She's got to come out with a pissed off look on her face. I'm going to kill you look every single time. She's got to stop coming out and the big giant smile of it. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, you guys are so nice. Like these stupid promos where she's talking happy and then all of a sudden she turns. It's too to me. It's non-believable in a sense. What we got out of her in that Raw promo this week with her beating the shit out of Alexa Bliss, beating the shit out of Kurt Angle, and like power bombing and picking up Alexa Bliss from the ground and power bombing through that table. We need to see that from Ronda Rousey all the time, not just once. That's got to happen all the time. She's been built up in the UFC as the ultimate badass, and you can't just come to WWE and lose that and just have it appear once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I said earlier, we're in the honeymoon stage right now with Rousey. Everyone, the new toy, the new this and that. She's going to be gone for 30 days. Let the honeymoon phase die out. She comes back, wins the title, and now she's one of the girls. You know, just from then on, now she's full-time Ronda Rousey, champion, fighting champ, et cetera, et cetera. Just let this 30-day thing kind of, cool everyone down from her. Let her come back and just go full-time.
Right. So if I can put it in any sense, yes, I love the whole what she's done so far. The smiling's just got to stop. That's it. Mm-hmm. Smiling's got to go away.
It works for Apollo Crews. Are you saying Apollo Crews is not successful in the WWE right now? Come on.
And
Ronda Rousey catering. Come on.
Maybe the little break would help that whole smiling. I mean, for her, this is a lifelong dream. She's pretty much marking out every time she comes out there. So let her go home, say, hey, I'm a WWE superstar now. I'm gonna come back and no more smiling. I'm one of them now.
Yeah. So. Very good. Real fast, in my opinion. I think Ronda Rousey is doing a lot better than I thought. If her wrestling was not good, I'm pretty sure the fans would chew her up alive. But she's actually doing fairly well for someone who had no experience in professional wrestling. And she kind of reminds me of, honestly, Kurt Angle when he started out. Because if you guys remember Kurt Angle when he made his debut in 1999 at Survivor Series, his wrestling was okay. He was okay on the mic. But as the months went on, dude, Kurt Angle's my favorite wrestler of all time, and I will argue with anyone. He had one of the best rookie seasons, one of the rookie years, Intercontinental Championship, European Championship, King of the Ring, WWE Championship. It only goes up from here, and I always give Ronda Rousey props. It seriously looks like she loves this business, and she's unlike Brock Lesnar. I hope I'm not offending any Lesnar fans who only seems to be in there for the paycheck and just goes home. Ronda Rousey seems to look like she tries to do what she loves, and the only thing that kind of stands in her way is kind of creative, basically saying, nah, you should be doing this, and she kind of just needs to go along with the flow.
Right.
So next question from Candice. She says, what are your thoughts about Velveteen Dream? How long do you think it will be until he's on the main roster, and where do you think he's going to be headed, Raw or SmackDown? He may go to 205 Live as well. So
no.
You know what? Tell you what. Brian, let's go ahead and start with you. I'm actually going to look up Velveteen Dream's weight and see if he qualifies. So, Brian, what are your thoughts on Velveteen Dream, and how long do you think it's going to be until he's on the main roster, and where do you think he's headed?
Well, personally, Velveteen Dream is one of the few guys I actually really enjoy on NXT. Like I said, I've never really been a huge NXT guy. I do follow it here and there, but this guy, I've said it day one, he's gonna be huge. He's only 22, 21, something like that. Mm-hmm. This guy doesn't have to be on the main roster for 5 years. You know what I mean? This guy, your prime in the WWE is 28, 29, 30, 31. This guy has 5-6 years just to get better. So as far as Raw and SmackDown, I just say no rush. I mean, this guy's good. He's just gonna get even better. You don't need him on Raw and SmackDown right now. Let him be the face of NXT for a little bit. Let him, just let him be the solid package you want him to be before you move him up, because this guy can carry Raw, SmackDown for years to come. This guy's 20. I'm not too sure. 21, 22. Like I said, for me, there's no rush. There should be no rush with this guy.
All right, Kyle, let's go ahead and take it over to you. So what do you think? Velveteen Dream on the main roster, and where's he headed?
I really wish he wouldn't go to the main roster at all. I think he's just going to get ruined. He's going to get pushed as a terrible mid-carder and is just going to lose all ends. Even though I've read reports that Vince loves him and loves the character, same with Triple H. I fear for any NXT top star to go up to the main roster as of right now. Hopefully things change by the time they call him up. I don't see him getting called up anytime soon. I think the first thing we're going to get called up by Velveteen Dream will probably be by TakeOver Brooklyn next year. I really doubt he'll be called up anytime from now until Raw after WrestleMania next year. I really highly doubt. They have a lot of promise with this guy. I don't think they've done everything with him that they want to do in NXT, especially at Triple H and how much he loves the character, and he's probably going to protect the hell out of Velveteen Dream. I think we're at least going to get maybe a mid-card title run out of him in NXT, maybe a main, hopefully a main championship. I think the guy definitely deserves a main championship run in NXT. He's a massive workhorse. But yeah, Velveteen Dream's work has been amazing. The guy can cut promos like it's nothing. He's got excellent ring skills. He's worked phenomenal with any wrestler he's worked with in NXT so far. You look at his matches with Cassius Ohno, Aleister Black, and Johnny Gargano even. So, I mean, he can have a good match with anybody. So, and now he had that massive match with Ricochet, which was really good on the weekend. So, you know what? The guy is a great piece of talent. I fear for him getting called up in the main roster. I'd love for him to go to SmackDown. I don't want to go to see him going on Raw. Though SmackDown, it would be really tough to fit him in there. I think there's too much talent on SmackDown to be used, but it's tough. I mean, look, Andre Cien almost went up to SmackDown, and he was basically the top heel in NXT for a while and like the main focal point. As soon as he got called up, what the hell is he doing? He's feuding with Sin Cara. As much as we want to joke, I know, but the whole Sin Cara thing, and you got to go through Sin Cara before you become legitimized on the main roster. But give me a fucking break. They bring this guy up, the former NXT champion, to feud with Sin Cara. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, look at
that's
Bobby
why I
Roode.
fear for him.
Look at Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is like one of the greatest NXT champions, I believe, that's come from NXT. And this guy, he barely made a dent at Money in the Bank. What did he do now? He beat oh my God, Kurt Hawkins on Monday Night Raw? I mean,
he's got to be the cringiest baby face I've ever seen, too.
Tell him to stop smiling. Holy moly. Tell him to turn heel.
Yeah, right.
Man, Greg, if you're still on the chat, tell your dad to turn heel. Okay, I've had enough of this. Anyway, real fast, Velveteen Dream. Oh, by the way, good news. I looked up his weight. He weighs 227. So
Thank God.
He's not going to 205 Live unless they do that stupid Buddy Murphy thing where he cuts down the weight to make it into 205 Live.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. But I hope if he has to go to the main roster, I hope it goes to SmackDown Live, because he's just going to get lost in the fold on Monday Night Raw. I can imagine he's probably going to feud with Roman Reigns as soon as he gets there, and then he's going to lose, and then, I don't know, maybe he might team up with Goldust. So, I don't know. Moving on to our next question. So due to time constraints, guys, I'm going to need a short answer from you guys. Our last tweet from Candace, she says, could you see Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black feud in the future. Kyle, short answer. What do you think?
No, because I think we're not getting we're going to get the final conclusion. We haven't seen the end of Gargano Ciampa. I'm telling you right now, I made that prediction before, making the prediction again. Hell in a Cell, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn.
Yeah, but Candace is saying in the future. So do you think maybe it might
future?
be
No.
Yeah. No.
I don't see it. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I don't see it clicking for. I mean, why? I don't get it. I don't see it.
Well, since these guys both said they don't see it, I'll be the one guy who says I can see it, because where does Ciampa go from here? If he's not going up to the main roster, he's such a good heel.
Mid-card.
I think, yeah, mid-card. But I think there could be something big in Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black, and I think it would be a really, really good feud. It makes sense that Tommaso Ciampa would want to go after the main NXT championship. So I'll be the one guy who says I can see it in the future, and I may say it might actually happen at NXT TakeOver. What is that, Hollywood or Los Angeles? What is that event at Survivor Series?
Survivor Series, yeah.
Yeah, it might go down there. Yeah, there you go. So there you go.
Yeah.
So,
really,
go ahead, Brian.
just really, really quick. Another reason why I don't see it happening is because I actually think they're gonna do, loser goes to the main roster, blah blah blah. Gargano goes to the main roster, he loses, but I think Ciampa still follows him to the main roster, and they just do the whole fight for everything until they blow off until WrestleMania. I really think that can happen. I honestly think that is gonna happen. They're gonna have just this whole fight for every year, and the blow off is at WrestleMania. I mean, I wouldn't.
I'd have to be really intrigued.
I mean, it's interesting.
I just want to say I laughed a little bit when you said loser goes to the main roster, like it's a freaking punishment. Makes total sense.
It makes total
It is.
sense.
It is.
Loser goes to the main roster, like, oh no, fight for my life. Well, there you go. All right, so that was the last tweet from Candace. So, Candace, thank you so much. Guys, you can follow Candace Cordelia on Twitter and Facebook at Candace Cordelia. She is an actress. She is a model. She's a writer. And, guys, check this out. She is a pro wrestling backstage interviewer. Because, yeah, guys, visit your local indie promotions, because she is actually a backstage interviewer for Capital Wrestling. They got an upcoming show coming up on Saturday at July 14th in, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Hoboken, New Jersey. So, guys, you can catch Capital Wrestling on Facebook and on YouTube. You guys want to check out some of their matches. Guys, support local indies. And is that all? Oh, you guys can also find Candace on Instagram at thatgirlcandace16. So, guys, give Candace Cordelia a follow on Twitter if you want to know more about Capital Wrestling, or if you want to book her, hey, as an actress, model. She's a writer. So, guys, make sure you check Candace out. So, Candace, thank you very much. All right. And anything going on in the live chat?
I think I might be. I was looking over the questions for the next trivia question. We got Roland saying, I think DIY will get brought back somehow, just how KO and Sammy kiss and make up. I can see that.
God.
I can see DIY getting back together. It probably could happen.
Or how Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax suddenly got back after Nia Jax dropped Alexa Bliss on her head.
Yes, Cooper Guy, she wants to see Sin Cara and Almas. I don't like the booking wise. It's like, how do you go from being NXT champion and being on top to being demoted to a guy who's barely on TV, who is basically a live event guy? Like, to me, it's like a very big demotion.
I think Almas and Hunico, the guy under the mask, I think they've been friends since like they were kids, so I think that's where
that's
they might be
fine.
going
But
with
like,
the story.
you have to think of it like booking and storyline wise. It just doesn't make sense. You have literally probably one of the best managers out there right now, and what a great voice with Selena Vega. You can capitalize on this. I just don't see why they don't do it.
If I could be completely honest, I feel like they really should have. People might think they're rushing this, but they should have added Almas to the Money in the Bank match. Some people may say that's too rushing, but just to throw it out there, what was it? Ricochet and
Amber got added to hers.
What was that?
Amber got added to hers. Why not?
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, we got an NXT call-up, and they might as well just added Almas into the Money in the Bank match. So, I don't know. So, anyways, we'll go ahead and move on to our next fan tweet. So, our next fan tweet comes from Lady Lone Wanderer on Twitter at Lady Lone Wanderer. So, guys, her first question is, and we actually do have a lot. So, let's go ahead and go over the first one. She says, "What wrestler was your favorite during the Attitude Era, and why?" Kyle, let's start with you. Favorite wrestler from the Attitude Era.
Favorite wrestler. I gotta go with my boy on that. He's my number one since I first started watching wrestling, and even through the Attitude Era, he had a lot of cool gimmicks. And that's the Undertaker. I mean, the guy back then was awesome. Like from when he was feuding with Shawn Michaels, and then feuding with his brother Kane. When Kane first made his debut, you remember Kane literally ripped the door off the Hell in the Cell. And ripped the door right off its hinges and had a stare down with the Undertaker, and then tombstoned him. And they went on with the whole the casket match and the Inferno match. Then he went from that to having that historic Hell in a Cell match with Mankind, aka Mick Foley. Then he went and went to his darker side and started the Ministry. And then he joined he joined Vince McMahon. They made the corporate Ministry. They did all that spiel and the whole stealing Stephanie McMahon and doing that whole cross ceremony thing. Undertaker through the Attitude Era was a really, really cool character, and I think really skyrocketed him up into the level he is today. And then he suddenly disappeared and came back as the American Badass, which is a really cool thing as well. So I definitely picked the Undertaker.
Wonderful. All right, Brian, favorite wrestler from the Attitude Era and why?
Well, my favorite Attitude Era wrestler, even though he kind of came in toward the tail end of the Attitude Era, is Chris Jericho. That guy still is probably my favorite wrestler of any era. But that guy was, for me at least, one of the original cool bad guys. I was always, as a kid, the Bret Hart fan, the Hulk Hogan fan, and just seeing Jericho at that age, I was just like, man, this guy's a badass. He's cool. He was the original, or one of the original cool guys, So to me, Chris Jericho. Also, The Rock. I mean, who didn't love The Rock?
There you go. You stole my answer because that's what I was going to say.
I'm sorry. I mean, everybody loved The Rock.
Exactly. Well, dude, Chris Jericho is really good. Dude, his debut actually, ironically, against The Rock when they had that stupid Y2K countdown, that was one of the biggest pops I have ever seen. It was
one of the best debuts just of all time.
It was so great. And dude, as a kid, I begged my mom so much to get me that Y2J hockey jersey that cost I think around $50. My mom's like, nope.
Jesus.
I was like, that was a cool jersey though. Brian, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I actually got to call in on a radio show when I was a kid and talk to Chris Jericho for 5 minutes. It was really, really cool. I was a little baby Mark.
For using, just what happens when someone uses Chris Jericho in a podcast? When his favorite person in the Attitude Era. Do you know what happens? You know what happens to those people?
You know what?
That's right. You just made the list.
Oh, I was going to say they might be all in, but no, that's probably the wrong answer. Okay,
so. We didn't say that. What?
What?
Where's the Vince police?
Uh-oh. Now we're going to get Cody Rhodes tweeting us. Thanks.
Real fast. So, like I told Brian, my favorite was the guy who got me into wrestling. That would be The Rock. In fact, I didn't have cable when I was a kid. I couldn't watch Monday Night Raw. So when my first exposure to WWF, as they call it, was the first episode of SmackDown Live ever on the UPN. Man, I knew nothing about wrestling. I was kind of like the casual, so I think it's fake. Oh, they're not really punching each other. I remember that exact main event of the first episode of SmackDown. It was The Rock versus Triple H for the WWE Championship with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee. And to see The Rock do the people's elbow, that move blew my mind. I'm like, this is the most craziest move I've ever seen. He's running back and forth. He's throwing the elbow pad. And then I'm thinking, what could happen next? And Shawn Michaels then super kicked The Rock. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming. The Rock is so good on the mic, and call it crazy, but I always knew that The Rock was meant for greatness. Just the way he cut promos, I'm like, dude, this guy's going somewhere. And I used to watch everything that The Rock was involved in. I saw him on when he was on that 70s show. I saw him when he was on Star Trek Voyager. I saw him in that awful movie The Mummy. So, I saw him in that awful movie Doom, and that was a big piece of shit.
Oh, man, that movie was so
Rock,
bad.
love you, bro. But, man, what the hell were you thinking? That was bad. So, anyway... Yeah, that's our favorite Attitude Era stars. So, guys, due to time constraints, I'm going to need a short answer from you for the next question. So, Lady Lone Wanderer says, who do you think is going to take the title from Brock Lesnar? So, Brian, let's start with you. Short answer, who's going to take the title?
I already know what
The
it's gonna
big
be.
dog. The big dog.
Oh, I was actually shocked. It wasn't Jinder Mahal, but
I mean, who do I want to take it? Jinder Mahal. But who I think is going to take it? The big dog.
No, Brock Lesnar's so lucky he didn't have to face Jinder Mahal at Survivor Series last year. Whew, lucky him.
I'm going to pick Seth Rollins. I'm just going to go with the obvious pick here and pick Seth Rollins.
I unfortunately have to agree with Brian. I think Roman Reigns is going to be the one to take the title off. But I feel like, I think we even talked about this earlier, at least Brian did. I think Braun Strowman is immediately going to cash in on Roman Reigns. And by the way, I want to bring up the fact that Braun Strowman beat the hell out of Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns won the Elimination Chamber. It never got followed up. Ever. The next night on Raw, Roman didn't call out Braun Strowman. I think they were even in a tag team match together. They never brought up the fact that Braun Strowman destroyed Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber after Roman won. So
Nope, they didn't.
Nope. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and move on. We got another question from Lady Lone Wanderer. She says, if you could bring back a fallen wrestler, who would it be? Kyle, let's start with you. Rest in peace. But who would you bring back to
Eddie
WWE?
Guerrero, 100%. Eddie Guerrero would have millions of fantasy matches with a lot of wrestlers today, and just Eddie Guerrero was one of a kind wrestler. Loved him when I was a kid, so Eddie Guerrero for sure.
Brian, how about you? Who would you bring back to the WWE?
Easy, Eddie Guerrero. I mean, that guy could have just... he was not even at his peak yet in the WWE. And, Eddie Guerrero. It's Eddie Guerrero.
And we are all in agreement. I'm going to say Eddie Guerrero, and that is pretty much done. I do want to bring up the interesting fact. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Eddie Guerrero was the last person to actually defeat Brock Lesnar for a WWE title. Am I right? I think I'm right. No, seriously, I think I'm right. I think
that might be true.
Hang on. Okay, I'm trying to think. So 31, Brock rolled out. It was Roman that got pinned. 32 was Triple H and Roman. 33 was Taker. Yeah, because it was literally Eddie Guerrero.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Brock Lesnar has lost. I think he lost in his debut match with John Cena at Extreme Rules. He lost to Triple H at WrestleMania. But as far as the title, no one has been able to defeat Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar even defeated the best in the world, CM Punk's streak for longest reigning title.
I don't count that because that's the Universal Championship. That's a load of crap. I'm just saying that as a Punk fan and a biased statement here. I don't agree with that, but that's okay.
This is how powerful Eddie Guerrero is. And by the way, that was in San Francisco at the Cow Palace, so that was a really good no way out for Eddie Guerrero to defeat Brock Lesnar. And I just want to bring up just like real fast. A lot of people said they never wanted to see Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor in his rematch. They never want to see Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan because these guys are too small. But Eddie Guerrero defeated Brock Lesnar. And I didn't think he could do it. I popped so much when I saw that. It was just seriously the ultimate underdog winning. So there you go. So let's see here. We have another question from Lady Lone Wanderer. I need a quick answer, fellas. Who would you want to be in the Hall of Fame that isn't yet? Brian, let's go to you. Who do you want in the Hall of Fame that is yet to be in there?
China.
China? Perfect.
I mean, simple. China. That's an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for him to be in the Hall of Fame soon, but they want to keep reaching into the cookie jar to bring him back out, and that's The Undertaker, obviously my favorite wrestler of all time. Should be going in the Hall of Fame next year, but with what I read recently with SummerSlam and what I just found out by looking through some rumors, I can't believe I'm reading this. Guys, please buckle your seatbelts for this. So, speaking of MSG and The Undertaker, WWE is returning to MSG on July 7th, if anyone doesn't know, for a live event. The iconic Dead Man will be teaming up, all right, so brace yourselves, with Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman in a monstrous 6-man tag team match to face off against Kevin Owens, Elias, and Raw Constable Baron Corbin. What a
Tag match. What the hell is this?
I don't.
Jesus,
MSG
if
wants to
there's
stop
ever
Ring
a
of Honor
time
from
for
promoting
crickets
their
right
shit?
now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh, I just
Like
rubbed
they're
my mouth a
literally
little
not doing Roman any favors. I don't.
bit. But yeah,
It's
let's
like
just-
when they put him with the Shield. It's like when they put him
let's
with
let that
whoever's
sink
hot
in,
at the moment. Like,
and we'll let
it's-
sink in that Brock Lesnar hasn't lost a WWE title to someone since Eddie Guerrero. Let's just let's that sink in for people right now. Anyways, that was my answer. Undertaker.
when's the Ring of Honor show at MSG, please? I take
No,
back
it's
all
not
my
there
statements.
anymore. It's not there
Book it.
anymore. They canceled it.
Book it.
They canceled it.
All right. So, and I think we're moving on. Yep, this is our last question from Lady Lone Wanderer. She says, "Which wrestler is the most cringe in the WWE?" Can you guys think of any? Kyla, it looks like you got one. Kyla, start with you. Who's the most cringe in the WWE?
Jinder fucking Mahal. I'm sorry, Brian. He's so bad. Okay, A, he can't wrestle. I'm sorry, he cannot wrestle whatsoever. He's stiff in the ring. He bumps way too hard. I think some people are just he doesn't work well with anybody. I haven't seen it. You can't name me a great Jinder Mahal match ever since he don't tell me any WWE title match he's had because they were all awful. He can't talk on the mic. It's not, I literally have to turn my TV up to 100 on volume to hear his ass in the ring. And it's just I can't get behind him. And plus he's if you sit here and tell me he's on a clean diet, then obviously you're wrong. And I will agree with Tonic Coin 29 saying Jason Jordan's in that same boat. But Jinder Mahal, man, he's just cringy as all hell. The guy's got more pimples on his back than a teenage kid in high school. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh man, Brian, take it over to you. Who's the most cringe in the WWE?
Well, I just got buried over here by Kyle. I don't even want to speak anymore. I'm so offended. But as far as cringeworthy, and I am not saying this to be a smart or I'm not saying this to be funny, but I guess this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but
Oh God,
Finn Balor, like
what?
I don't. What?
No,
what
you're
is
getting the
the- what is? Tell me what Finn Balor's character is.
He's
When we come up with the answer, I'll tell you whatever the gimmick is. It's for everyone, okay, bro?
he's a half-naked Fonzie.
Exactly. He's a half-naked. He's out there smiling worse than Ronda Rousey, and like he's standing next to Braun Strowman, looking at him like a freaking high school girl, and he just kind of the whole smile, the whole
They've ruined him too.
the whole Balor Club, like it just what is this guy's character? Like,
Downey
it's-
works with the club. I agree. I'll have to semi-agree with you there. I don't think
You
he's
know-
cringe, but I would put him in the boat that the whole Balor Club thing only works with the club on his own. No.
It's just I don't get it sometimes, and I can appreciate the ring work. He's one of the best out there right now, but just I don't get it. When I see him come out, it's just like, here comes the half naked, and then just when he pops that collar, it's like, dude, really? Relax, full guy.
He does remind me of Fonzie, now that you
yeah,
think about
the
it.
half-naked Fonzie.
like I pop my collar and I come out. Now what? Like, okay, now what? And like, I honestly, and I've read this little rumor
He's
flying around. How
Fergal Devitt.
you guys mentioned the Balor Club for everyone. Like, if he was to come out as a gay character, like, I would get it. At least they're gonna run with something. Why not?
I feel like they're just forcing that on him so that they can show there to be in the mainstream that they're all for it, right? He's like their he's like their dummy for that, which is wrong.
Yeah, which I mean, I get it, but it's just the whole popping the collar and it. Yeah, okay, you're cool. You're okay, cool guy.
All right. In my answer, you know what? I was originally going to say Mojo Rawley, but I think he could possibly be redeemed. And while I was thinking of Mojo Rawley, I couldn't stop thinking about Jinder Mahal's Japanese promo that he had on SmackDown Live, that was one of the worst promos I've ever seen. So I'm going to have to go with Jinder Mahal. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, sorry, Brian.
Jinder Mahal.
How is that worse than no speaker English? How do
I think they're both worse. I'm just saying that Jinder Mahal's done nothing that's been not making him non-cringe since this whole like new gender thing.
You guys are haters. Don't hinder gender.
Anyways, let's
You know,
move on.
he has redemption. I'm gonna need Jinder Mahal to bring back the League of Nations. Okay, so have Jinder Mahal bring back the League of Nations. All right, get some people who are get the AOP. Okay, so get people who have nothing to do and bring back the League of Nations. There you go. It can be led by Neville, right? Who cares?
And if you're gonna refer to him as the most cringe character, please refer to him as the ex-WWE champion worst character. Thank you very much.
No, don't think I'm gonna do that.
My most cringe is the ex-WWE champion Jinder Mahal. Yes, he deserves that much. You know, they put an entire tour for this guy, so there you go. So,
God.
so guys.
Anyway, I'm gonna help you right there. What is that? What is that we hear? Oh, that's a sound for another trivia question. Right here on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, the Lowdown Show, Fan Appreciation Night. And from what I see in the chat, we got 2 people in there that could be eligible for this question. Keep it girl 125. We spoke to you before. That's okay. So Corporate Cappy and Tonic Coin 29, and if others are still in the chat, I believe Roland, if you're still listening, you have a chance at this. And the next trivia question right here, and you can win a mystery shirt from our sponsor, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. And I'll spin the wheel of categories, and we'll land on former pay-per-views. Okay, so WWE pay-per-views is the category. So this is interesting. At the 2006 Survivor Series, in the second to last match, who were the captains of each team in the traditional Survivor Series tag team elimination match? So basically, at the 2006 Survivor Series, who were the 2 team captains in the traditional Survivor Series elimination match? So this goes out to Cappy, Roland, and Tonic Coin 29 in the chat. Or if you want to, anyone listening that doesn't want to chat with us on Spreaker and wants to tweet at us at No Holds Barred WP on Twitter, DM us or tweet us the answer. What were the 2 team captains in the 2006 Survivor Series traditional elimination match? So 2 team captains. We need 2 of them, 2 WWE superstars. And I can't really give away. Yeah, I can't really say. I was going to give you a hint, but I would give it away right now. I'll just say that they've both have wrestled in some capacity in the last 4 years. Let's just put that.
I just saw Cappy's answer.
Oh my God, Corporate Cappy, that's wrong. And just for that, I'm going to give you the sound effect. I don't care. It is not that. It is not Bull Buchanan and Simon Dean. That is incorrect.
Hey, whoa! You have a problem with B2 and the Simon system?
No, I don't. I gave you a hint. It doesn't fit the hint. I don't think they've wrestled in some capacity in the WWE in the last 4 years.
I just want to say that Big Boss Man and Bull Buchanan are the original Shield. Okay, anyone wants to say otherwise? These guys are the original Shield.
B Square.
Believe in the Shield.
I remember I only remember Bull Buchanan with John Cena when he was B Squared. That was like the funniest shit ever.
John Cena used to do raps, and all Bull Buchanan used to do is say "Booyah!" and that's it. That's all his contributions were to the segment.
B Squared, man, my boy. Yeah, Cappy got it. So again, the question was, at the 2006 Survivor Series, in the second to last match, who were the team captains of each team for the traditional Survivor Series elimination match? Corporate Cappy, you can answer this truthfully. You can win a T-shirt, a mystery T-shirt of your choosing, or not of your choosing, a mystery T-shirt from our sponsor. Also, this is open up to Tonic Coin 29 and also Roland that was in the chat as well, if you are still listening in. So you 3 have a chance to win a shirt and answer this question, right? I'm giving you enough time to Google it if you'd like, or if any silent listeners want to tweet in.
Yep. Guys, look it up. Find out what the match card was and take a wild guess on who the captain was.
Yeah.
And no, Cappy, it wasn't Ellsworth and Oscar Ellsworth on the other side.
Oh, I don't want to win it. So give it to another corporate sellout. Ooh. Oh, you're getting the boos for that. Boo. Shame.
You know, can I say this episode has been great, but you should do an anniversary episode where you have previous hosts come back. Have Cappy and No Self Phil come back for an episode.
Oh, for sure. I'll for sure try to get No Self Phil. Cappy, I don't know. With that answer he just put in the chat, I don't know. We'll have to think a little bit about that. But again, to the people listening in, question was, in 2006, who in the Survivor Series, who were the 2 team captains of that team? I might have to go to an easier question if that's too hard. I think I might have a easier question. Let's see if I can find a really easy one. No, these are pretty hard. Well, pretty like semi-hard.
What was it? Did you say 2006 Survivor Series?
2006 Survivor Series. Yeah. Who were the team captains?
I'm going to try and look this up. So, guys, come on. I'm going to try and look this up. Survivor Series 2006. I'm on the Wikipedia page. I'm going down to the...
Tila, hold up. We'll give people a little time. See, I mean, all you got to do is wiki. You can wiki it. I'm telling you, you guys can Google the answer.
Well, I'm not going to tell them, but
let's see. Cappy, if you guys give me a question where the answer is a jobber, I'll answer it.
Okay.
Even so Val knows the answer.
I think I know who one of the captains is, and then let me
actually remember this match. So,
okay. Who is?
I'll give you another hint. One of the captains I absolutely despise in the Derby. He's a wrestler I absolutely hate. If you know the show.
Oh, okay. I know who the other one is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know who. I can take a wild guess who. I just saw his name. I can guess who the other two is.
You know, we haven't got an answer just yet, so I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one of the captains. So name me the other captain. Okay. So one of the captains was one guy I absolutely hate in the WWE. Never liked him once. And any of his work he did with WWE, I apologize to any fans of him out there, but that is the Big Show. Big Show is one of the team captains of that team back in 2006. So the other team captain.
Wait, hold on here. How dare you? How could you not like the Showster? How can you not like Shokishi? How could you not like the Big Shokowski?
Captain Insano.
Captain Insano, the Giant.
Okay. Mayweather had to use brass knucks to knock this guy out. I just want to say. So.
And I got an answer. It is not Umaga.
A good guess. I mean, that was around the same time period.
It was around that era, and it would have made sense, kind of, but no, it was not Umaga.
It was not Umanga.
You're saying it wasn't Jamal? Dang it.
No, it wasn't Jamal.
Okay, shall we move on? I think
we'll move on. So I'll give out the answer. The answer was none other than the free agent maestro himself, John Cena. So John Cena and the Big Show were the 2 team captains of that team in 2006. Interesting. Anyways, move on, Michael Chow. What do we got next?
Oh, sure. Okay. So I thought you were going to move to another prize. So we'll save it for the next prize one. Right. So let me read 3 more tweets, and we'll move on to the next prize giveaway, guys. So real fast, I didn't get to promote her, but our last tweets came from Lady Lone Wanderer. Guys, she is a cosplayer, and she's actually a really good one. You guys should see her costume. She's also a voice actress, and she's also a gamer. So, guys, you can catch her on Twitch at twitch.tv/Lady Lone Wanderer. She does streams, a variety from retro gaming to RPGs, speed runs. She also does Fallout, bottle cap making, and she had a little quote that I would like to say. So, guys, end quote. She says, she also provides a positive and supportive community and being a non-booby streamer that doesn't put on fake persona. Go. So I can respect that. That's really cool, guys. I know, and you know, Brian and Kyle, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. There are some people out there who only do it for the big bucks. They only do it for the followers. But I think I can speak for Kyle, Brian, and myself when I say I love wrestling. If I never make a dime off this podcast or a YouTube channel, I still be happy that I get to talk about wrestling. Right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
There you go. So, yeah, thank you to Lady Lone Wanderer. So, guys, she has a very good Twitch channel. So, guys, make sure you check her out. She's also a recurring co-host on Dat Ass Podcast as well. So, guys, make sure you give that a follow. So, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next fan tweet. It actually comes from a previous winner on today's show. She's actually in the chat right now. It comes from Val. at Now This Is WWE on Twitter. Her first fan question is, what are your thoughts about WWE and Fox TV deal for SmackDown? Brian, why don't you go first? What do you think about Fox spending, what was it, $3 billion or $1 billion?
I think it was $1 billion from Fox and almost $1 billion from USA for Raw.
Yeah, there
if
you
I'm
go.
not mistaken. So
what do you
almost
think about-
$2 billion.
What do you think about this deal?
Well, I think it can go two ways. I mean, no one really knows the deal Fox and WWE have. All I know is that it's worth $1 billion. And so I'm thinking, if there's some kind of clause in there where everything is rating based, this is going to be great for us fans because WWE is finally going to have to put something out on major television that people are going to watch. Because if not, Fox can always just, pull out. I know people say there's a contract involved, blah, blah, blah. I mean, nobody really knows. And why would Fox leave something on their TV that they're going to be losing money on, obviously? Mm-hmm. The other, I guess the other side of the coin is if it is a concrete 5-year, $1 billion, you get your money, whatever, why wouldn't WWE just put it on cruise control, So I'm hoping for some kind of clause in that contract where WWE has to have at least a 3.0 or 3.5 rating, something in there where it's going to make creative get creative,
Mm-hmm. A very good point. Kyle, what do you think about this deal?
I'm just scared. Honestly, I'm honestly scared that Fox is going to make it 3 hours. I don't want SmackDown to be more than 2 hours. I think they should be bringing Raw back down to 2 hours. Raw 3 hours is way too long. It obviously shows in the rating dip in the middle of the show, and some people sort of tune back into Raw. I mean, you talk about ratings. The last month and a half, Raw has gone from like a steady 3.2, 3.3 million viewers all the way down to 2.2, 2.4. Like they've lost 1 million people in viewers, and that's a big plunge. So if this is how much money they're thinking that this deal is going to be worth, I hope Fox sees that and goes, well, maybe. I mean, you just lost 1 million viewers in viewership like that. If that ever happened to SmackDown on Fox, I don't think they'd be too happy about that. Then I hear a lot of people saying that, this is going to ruin the draft as well. They're going to go back to superstars appearing on both shows. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it just yet. To me, it's when we get there kind of thing. But it's not for another year and a half until it actually happens. It's October 2019. So we'll see what WWE is like at that point, and then we can go from there.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And short answer from me, it just, in my personal opinion, it just means that SmackDown goes on. I mean, a lot of people think there's going to be major changes. Fox picked it up, but I really don't think so. For people who do watch the Fox network sometimes, they literally have new content shows from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And then after that, they just have like news after that. So yeah, exactly. So Brian, you know what I'm talking about. So they're not going to go to 3 hours. There's no way. They're not going to get rid of their news. It's not going to go above 10 o'clock. I want to throw this out there. Just because Fox picked it up does not mean it's going to air on Fox. They also have FX. They have other networks that they could possibly air it on. We're going to. Oh yeah, go ahead, Brian.
A $1 billion show. It's going to be on Fox.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So. We're going to go into our next question. It's kind of related. It says, with the Fox purchase, do you think there's a possibility that SmackDown goes back to TV 14? So it gets a little bit grittier. Brian, let's start with you. Do you think that it might go back to a little bit not so much kid-friendly? Do you think it's going to go up to TV 14 on Fox?
Yeah, well, I think if it stays at 2 hours, which everyone hopes so, the 8 to 10 spot could potentially be TV 14. The only little thing, I guess, to kind of go back to the last point you made, Michael, about them not going to 3 hours. The only way I see them going 3 hours is, I don't know about you locally, Michael, but here, Fox 7 o'clock is usually like a Simpsons rerun or Family Feud, So maybe they push it back to 7 to 10. Where they can fill that gap, and I think if they do go 7 to 10, it's gonna stay TVPG. But the only way they might do it is if it stays on that 8 to 10 slot.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, let's go over to you. What do you think? Are they gonna go back to TV 14?
I don't think
because it's gonna be on Fox.
I honestly don't think so. I think as the company is publicly traded, they've swayed away from that TB14 stuff. Yeah, we get the sometimes edginess on the regular main roster TV right now. I can't see it going full out TB14 and and them ever swing back to that, especially if by that time Vince is going to be heavily into the XFL and trying to get that boosted. I don't think he wants to be really known for a TB14 show going on at the same time. So I think they're going to continue the direction that they have now and being the cringiest shit that I've ever seen on main television TV, and I will continue to watch NXT at that point as well.
Just really quick, while I have the thought in my head, I don't mean to cut you guys off, but Fox is supposedly only getting WWE because they want to give UFC the boot, and UFC is more of a more of a TV14 product. So maybe Fox is gonna want WWE to be like, hey, you know what? You guys are our
we can
UFC
only
replacement.
hope.
You know,
we can only hope, unless Fox is just swaying away from TB14. Maybe, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, and real fast, my answer is, I just TV14 kind of went out with the Attitude Era. They're not going to go back. And then it'd be like SmackDown kind of gets this, but Raw doesn't. I don't see them kind of like allowing one side to do it and not the other side. One thing I always thought was kind of weird is, like, if you guys watch Family Guy, and there are other shows that do this, before they air their show, they would have like a little screen that says this is like rated, this for graphic content and all this other stuff. Why don't they do that before the WWE? Just before Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, just say, hey, this is rated so and so because it has this and that. So that way that kind of like shuts up all the parents who says, oh, I don't want my kid watching this show, and then be like, well, we warned you before the show that it was going to have this much graphic content or whatnot. But
right.
I feel like there's more marketing in the fact that it's kid friendly. That way they can get kids more into it. It is a viewer. Kids can beg their parents to buy the WWE Network and whatnot. So it just kind of expands more money. If marketing wise, you can get more kids, that it's more kid friendly. So there you go right there. Last question from Val. She says, are the women ready to main event WrestleMania? Kyle, let's start with you. Are women going to main event WrestleMania ever, or maybe next year?
Ever? Probably. Next year, I know there were rumblings earlier this year that they were talking about like maybe Ronda Rousey. I can see maybe a Ronda Rousey if it was a big enough match to the highlight of WrestleMania, and the only one I can think of that they're to be so high on and would be the perfect fit for her would probably be Charlotte. I think it would be Ronda Charlotte main event. It would have to be a really marquee matchup, though. It would either be like a really ultimate fantasy booking type of match, like the Raw Women's Champion against the SmackDown Women's Champion, title for title, or it could be like even just for a singles title, Ronda Rousey for Charlotte. But they would really need to build this feud into a believable match if you're going to make it a main event. But I wouldn't doubt it if we've seen all these first time ever type matches and stuff with the women are there to be and the whole women rights, no pun intended, to Lacey Evans, but I can definitely see it in the future, maybe next year, but definitely a future WrestleMania the women will main event one WrestleMania, that's for sure. I can definitely see that happening.
Brian, let's take it over to you. Are women ever going to main event WrestleMania?
Yes, and the only reason I say it's going to happen soon is because that's the only reason Ronda Rousey is here. I mean, we all watch wrestling all year, but WrestleMania isn't for us. WrestleMania is for the mainstream media, the mainstream fans, the average person that doesn't watch during the year is going to watch WrestleMania. It's become its own thing. It's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. So, I as much as I hate to say it, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Asuka, etc., they're not gonna main event WrestleMania without a Ronda Rousey. It's just not. I love the girls we have, but no one cares. You go to a mall and Charlotte can walk in the mall and no one would recognize her. I'm sorry. You put Ronda Rousey in the mall, it's gonna be chaos. So you put Ronda Rousey in the main event of WrestleMania, that's what's gonna sell.
Yep, I totally agree with you guys, and I agree with Brian. I feel like it is going to go down next year. I mean, Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte, has money written all over it. I kind of think that's the main reason why maybe Charlotte had went over on Asuka. It makes sense that the girl who defeated the streak is now going up against Ronda Rousey. And I could kind of picture, I don't know if you guys agree, maybe somewhere down the line it might be it kind of reminds me of Shawn Michaels. It might be Ronda Rousey versus Asuka. Asuka trying to get another match from Charlotte at WrestleMania, and they might actually do Ronda Rousey versus Asuka at what? Okay. What's the maybe Fastlane or the Elimination Chamber? And maybe the person who wins that match, which is pretty obvious, going to be Ronda Rousey, will go on to face Charlotte. So
yeah, it's easy. At the end of the day, they're gonna do Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, because you ask anyone, do you know who Ric Flair is? Well, his daughter is fighting Ronda Rousey. You know, if you put in Ronda Rousey versus Asuka, who the hell is Asuka? You know what I mean? Like, as much as it sucks to say that, it's just Rousey versus Flair. That has WrestleMania all over it.
I don't know if this makes sense or if you guys ever watched that feud or match. This kind of reminds me of Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. You have Conor McGregor who came from UFC into a boxing match. It's almost the exact same thing. It's Ronda Rousey coming from a background of UFC. She's now crossed over to professional wrestling, and now she's taking on basically, I may get some criticism, but I may say the face of the women's division, Charlotte. It has money written all over it. I'd be psyched to see it.
She is. In WWE's eyes, she is the face. I don't think she's the best talent they have. I think that she is the face of the women's division. Look at it from the outside. You can argue with Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and among others. Right now, she is the woman of the women's division. Until someone comes up to dethrone her from that, she's going to be it for now until then, and by that time when they want to main event a WrestleMania with women, she's the girl to do it. So that's why it makes sense.
There you go. And let's see here. And I guess that will go ahead and do it. So that was it from Val. Thanks so much, Val. You can catch her on Twitter at Now This Is WWE. She live tweets Raw and SmackDown Live and the pay-per-view. So, guys, make sure you give her an ad. She also posts her own video, and she's also quite the graphic designer. She creates her own graphics. She did a cover for WWE 2K19 with all of the women on there, or at least the 4 horsewomen of the WWE. Her cover was actually really, really good. It's the cover I personally think they should have went with. I love AJ Styles, but after a great year of the Mae Young Classic, first ever women's Royal Rumble, first ever women's Elimination Chamber, I really do believe a female should have been on the cover of WWE 2K19. So, yeah, thank you so much, Val. We're going to go on to our next tweet. Kyle, can I get a time check? How much do you have right now on speaker?
We have an hour left.
An hour left. Yeah, so I may have to cut some of the answers short. So I'm actually going to combine 2 of the tweets from 2 people because they're kind of very similar to each other. So our next tweet is coming from both Abby Lynn at AbbyVX on Twitter, and also from IWNerd.com at Inner Nerd on Twitter. So Abby's question was, what is your favorite match of the year so far? IW Nerd says, what is the best WWE match so far of 2018, not including NXT? So let's go ahead and combine. I know. Let's go ahead and combine both questions. So, guys, favorite match of the year, and you cannot include NXT. I'm trying to think right now. Brian, if you got one, let's cut to you. Favorite match of the year in 2018 from the main roster, since you are the main roster.
Maharaja.
Jinder versus Roman Reigns.
Stop it! That's enough out of you. There's no way that's been the best match of 2018 so far.
So far.
Kyle, let's take it over to you. Brian, think of another match.
God, it's tough because I really wanted to see one of the best matches of all time at WrestleMania because I was there live and watching it. And God, man, it's just like it should have been better than what we got, because what we got at this past Money in the Bank was the match I wish we had at WrestleMania was AJ Styles and Nakamura. But because we didn't, it's tough to even think of what. There's not a match that stands out so far this year on the main roster because I've been focusing a lot more on NXT. If I can think of anything at the top of my head, at Backlash, I think it was it Rollins and Miz was actually a really, really decent match.
Yeah,
I think Meltzer gave that match a really good rating too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, jeez, Meltzer. Where's the boo?
They got the Meltzer. I'm not giving you a boo, man. I'm not giving you a boo. But if in terms of the whole package, where it got me excited, there was decent wrestling moves. I'm not gonna lie, the WrestleMania 34 match with Ronda Rousey and Kurt against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon was actually pretty good. Like that, it got a lot of hype around it with Ronda Rousey, and we got her wrestling Triple H a little bit around the ring. Not the best match at a Kurt Angle. He kind of looked rusty, but. Like if we're talking WWE terms, I'd say maybe Rollins or Miz and the WrestleMania match between Rousey and Kurt against Triple H and Steph.
All right, very good. Brian, you got a match yet?
A
serious match?
No, yeah. I was actually going to go just, one. I mean, the Rousey Angle match, it was just a fun, good match. I think that's been one of my favorites of the year so far. And obviously Asuka and Charlotte. I mean, that's, I guess, 1A and 1B for me.
Gotcha. All right, that was a good match. For me, I'm trying to think of one, because I was actually going to say that Backlash match with Rollins and Miz, because that was really good. So I'm gonna go with Fastlane, that fatal 5-way between stupid free agent John Cena against AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. That was a really good match. I really enjoyed that one.
Match.
There we go.
So those are our favorite matches so far. It's tough. Like I have a long Santa Claus list of NXT matches, but main roster is like 4, maybe 3.
It's so crazy. This year, I feel like, especially WrestleMania, we got some of what could have been some of the best matches ever, but they so under-delivered. I don't understand what the heck happened. So this could have been one of the best WrestleMania cards of all time, but it was kind of meh to me. So yeah.
It's a good thing I was pretty half in the bag during it, so it was all right. Whereas I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much.
There we go. Dotila with hashtag beat up John Cena. Very good. So
that's right.
All right. So that'll go ahead and do it from both Abby Lynn and IW Nerd. So guys, make sure you give them both a follow. Try and make sure you give Abby a follow on Twitter at AbbyVX. And also you can go ahead and follow IWNerd.com on Twitter at Inner. Yeah. Inner Nerd, and that's nerd spelled with a 3 instead of an E. So find them on Twitter. What is it?
They're great news source. If you guys want to stay up to date on anything news and rumors, they are a great Twitter page to follow, and you can stay up to date with any news. Again, rumors too. They highlight the word rumors when it is a rumor, so take rumors with a grain of salt. I know they put it at the end of their articles all the time, but they're a really good way to stay caught up on anything going on in the background.
They release content almost every minute, so make sure you guys give them a follow. And also, guys, I had the distinct honor of actually contributing to an article on IWNerd.com for their Slammy Award last year. It was actually really cool. Man, a lot of the answers that me and IWNerd gave out, there were a lot of marks out there who did not like our answers. But hey, who cares? Marks, go watch the main roster. Yeah. So, no offense, Brian. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to another fan tweet. After that, we'll go ahead and do another prize giveaway. So, our next fan tweet comes from the Canvas Chat on Twitter at the Canvas Chat. They run a really cool podcast, guys. Martin the Maverick and Bobby the Bruiser. Their question is...
I thought you were going to say Bobby the Brain Heenan for a sec.
We could possibly bring him back. But yeah. So his question, or their question, is from the Canvas Chat podcast. They say, this is a hard one. What's your Survivor Series team of 5? And guys, these are the details. Jesus. You have to pick one wrestler from the 1980s, one wrestler from the 1990s, one wrestler from the 2000s, and then 2 from the present day.
Jesus
man,
Christ.
Oh man.
Actually, I like this.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
I can't even name it.
1980s.
I can't even name any wrestlers from there.
So, if the question is, who's my team of 5 because I want to win?
Or
team of 5 jobbers.
Okay, you know what? Okay. let's go ahead and say dream. Okay, they don't necessarily have to win, but who would your dream team of 5? And Brian, if you know any, because I seriously do not know any wrestlers from the 1980s. Brian, you want to go first? You know any?
I mean, Hulk Hogan, guys. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Not even just
Hulk.
that.
I mean, I'm going Hulk Hogan. 90s. Toss up between Michaels and Bret Hart.
Gotta pick one though.
Bret Hart, just because that was my boy when I was Bret Hart in kindergarten for a Halloween parade. I mean, I'm not joking.
That is adorable.
I'll find the picture. We'll tweet it on the show. I have it somewhere. Okay, Hogan, Hart, 2000s Jericho. 2 from the present, Jinder Mahal and Samir Singh.
God, what a team that is! Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Is that your final answer for the 2 from the present, Brian?
That's all champions, guys. That's a team of champions.
Wow.
Oh man, this guy, he'll turn 21.
I'm just gonna say my team's gonna whoop your ass. Just saying.
No, I have Hogan. I automatically win.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you my team. I'm gonna volunteer myself to go second. Let's start off 1980s. The one and only, recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, Bruno Sammartino. Number 2 from the 1990s, because he did wrestle in WWE for a little bit in the 90s, Hulk Hogan. So I'll stick with my Hogan pick there. Number 3 from the 2000s, was in and out of WWE with movies and coming back to the WWE. You know, he had his moments. The Rock. So I got The Rock there. So Bruno, Hogan, and The Rock. And 2 current stars. One's a free agent, so John Cena. And the one and only, and I'm going to get the sound effect ready, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, John Cena, The Rock, Hogan, and Bruno Sammartino. Vince is having a nice wet dream at the moment.
Might as well just send in Roman Reigns as himself, take on everyone else. But yeah.
Who wins, Roman Reigns or Hulk Hogan? Who wins that match?
Pinfall?
Oh man! All right, so for me, let's see here. The '80s, was Andre the Giant wrestling in the '80s, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I need a big guy, so I'm gonna go with Andre the Giant for the '80s. For the '90s, of course, you gotta go with Bret the Hitman Hart. Best that ever was, best that ever will be. So
yes,
Andre the Giant, Bret Hart. 2000s, I'm gonna go with. Word Life rapper John Cena, the heel John Cena. That's a good one.
Ooh yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, and 2 from the present time, I'm gonna go with AJ Styles and I'm gonna think of someone from the Raw side. Screw it, Roman Reigns. Let's do it, guys.
Oh God!
So I get crap for Jinder Mahal, but you guys both pick Roman Reigns.
Yeah, because he's not. Why would you pick him? I obviously going to pick Roman Reigns to be on my team because the dude's gonna win no matter what. He's gonna take 3 finishers, kick out of each one of them, and then hit 1 spear for the win.
Well,
or Hogan's gonna come in and they're gonna leg drop. They're gonna leg drop and spear until the guy's literally broken in half.
It's just gonna be
so they can break in half. They can break the guy in half so they can each pin 1 piece of the body part.
Oh, you know what? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna change Roman Reigns since someone else picked Roman Reigns. I noticed no one picked a woman, so I'm gonna go with Asuka. So there you go, Asuka.
Oh, intergender team.
Pick. There you go. She can take on the men.
Yeah.
You must like losing then if you want Asuka.
Oh my God.
Okay, hold on. Okay. NXT Asuka. Okay, now she will not lose. There you go.
God.
Unless someone wants to put Charlotte on their team, then never mind. She's in big trouble. So, all right. So that'll do it for. That was a really good question, guys. I really enjoyed that. So, guys, make sure you follow the Canvas Chat on Twitter, and make sure you guys check out their podcast. It's a really good podcast. These guys are really, really funny. They know what they're talking about. From Martin the Maverick and Bobby the Bruiser. Make sure you check them out on Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube at the Canvas Chat. So, guys, from the Canvas Chat, Martin and Bobby, thank you very much. And now I think it's time for a prize giveaway. Kyle.
So since I've been watching the live chat and there's only one person that's been chatting so far hasn't won anything, what I'm going to do, Tonic Coin 29, is I'm going to give you a question, solely you a question, and I'm actually going to give you a time limit as to answer that question. If you cannot answer the question in the time limit, I will we'll let you answer the question, but I won't give you the prize. Sorry, I have to be fair.
Are you saying that this is a beat the clock challenge?
This is a beat the clock challenge.
Jesus.
So I will give you an honest 1 minute to, and I have a timer in front of me. I have my phone up, a stopwatch app. I'll give you a full minute to answer the question. I'll make it easy enough so that you can answer it in 1 minute. Okay. All right. So, and then you should be able to Google it in a minute if you can.
Oh, so man. Please let the answer be Roman Reigns. Please let the answer be Roman Reigns.
So, since we are mainly an NXT podcast, well, for the most part, this has to do with NXT and the main roster in some way. So, your question, Tonic Coin 29, which tag team made up of 2 current main roster singles competitors won the first ever Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic? Your clock starts now. So which tag team made up of 2 current main roster singles competitors won the first ever Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic? So it's an interesting question right there. And it was an interesting team that won it. It wasn't a legit team. It was a put-together team. I also remember that was a tag team classic that Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger teamed up, and then that started the whole Bobby Roode feud with Ty Dillinger when he turned on him. And,
that first one was crazy because it was like a whole bunch of singles wrestlers thrown together.
Yeah, that's true.
In that tournament.
That led to the NXT TakeOver Toronto match between Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger, which was fantastic and opened up the TakeOver. So it was awesome. So, Tonic, you have 15 seconds. There you go. He got it. With 10 seconds to spare, he got it. Wow. Tonic Coin 29. Samoa Joe and Finn Balor were the first ever Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament champions. And they were put together teams. So very interesting. Made up of 2 current stars. Look at them, what they are today. Obviously, we have Brian and his opinions of Finn Balor. And Samoa Joe wishing he could. Samoa Joe deserves to had so many chances that he should have been Universal Champion, and it sucks. So Tonic Coin 29, congratulations on winning a random shirt from our sponsor, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. So we'll be in contact with you on Twitter DMs for your shipping information and your shirt size. So yeah.
I got an Authors of Pain tweet. That's a good guess, but no.
That is a good guess, though. That was they won the second one.
I think they did.
I watched that one live too.
They're actually, I think, the only winners to actually defend their title, which they lost. So.
Oh, I was wrong. So the Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger feud started at the second one. I was wrong. It did not start at the first one because the second one led to the NXT TakeOver match, and that's actually where AOP won against TM61, who actually went injured after that. So.
All right, good stuff. And by the way, Kyle, you're keeping track of who's been winning, right?
Yep, I do.
Okay, good. No,
early bird prize winner is there to be Ramsey from Rumble Rumors, Rumbles. I don't know if I said that right. And our random T-shirt winners are Datila, Val, and Tonic Coin 629.
Good. Because I'll be contacting you guys as far as getting in contact with us on getting the free tees. So. All right. So let's see here. All right, guys, we're down to the wire. We only have 2 fan tweets left, so we may actually have some extra time. So
sweet.
All right. So, guys, we're moving down to the 2 last fan tweets. One of them is ironically Tonic Coin 29, and we're gonna go ahead and get into our next tweet. It is come from, I hope I pronounce this right, Rachel Dream at WWE Dream on Twitter. She's from Wales. She's just an awesome.
That is.
Yeah, we all know who she is.
Very awesome tweeter.
She has a lot of questions, so guys, we're gonna need short answers. Sorry, Rachel, but guys, give her a follow. I'll tell you her information in a bit. So her first question is: Who is on the modern day Mount Rushmore of wrestling? So guys. This is a hard one. And it doesn't have to necessarily, I don't think she means WWE, so it could be anyone. So who is on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling? Guys, do you got something?
So how many
So-
heads are on Mount Rushmore? Since I'm Canadian, I'm not really good at this.
I think it's 4.
It's 5. I think it's 5. Well, is it 4 or 5?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look at this up.
Let's
Guys,
see.
You guys are
Google this.
American.
hey, whoa, hey! I'm not
I didn't
the
say it was
face
a
of
good
America.
American.
Well, I'm the
Yeah,
face
it's
of America.
Jesus. My
Washington,
Lord, I am
Jefferson,
ashamed. I am
Roosevelt.
ashamed.
Can't
So
believe I'm.
It's 4. Washington,
4? Okay, so 4.
Roosevelt, and Lincoln.
Number 1 would be... I'm going to say Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Number 1. Number 2, The Rock, obviously.
Actually, you know what? Rachel actually says modern day, so it would actually be
modern
current
day.
superstars right now.
I mean, to
Current
be honest,
superstars.
is there anyone on the modern day roster that deserves that?
Does The
Maybe
Rock
the-
count?
Maybe the modern day Maharaja.
Does it count? The Rock count?
I would just go. I would just go any era because I mean we're gonna put Kevin Owens on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's just go with that. We do need quick answer, guys. So just
Okay,
list
so-
any 4 guys from any time.
Hogan, Rock, Cena,
One more.
and Stone Cold. It's got to be Stone Cold because there would be no Attitude Era without Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian. Let's go to you.
Yeah,
4 people.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Hogan, Rock,
Ooh.
Austin, Cena. I mean, without those guys, there is no WWE. There is no wrestling on TV. It's just it's there's no one close.
That's good. I'm gonna go with Hogan. I'm gonna go with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm gonna go with this is freaking hard. For kind of I wouldn't say he's responsible, but kind of broadening, WWE into Hollywood. I'm gonna say Rock, but I'm gonna change the last one. I'm gonna actually go with a guy. He's been in the company. He still wrestles. He's now doing stuff behind the scenes. My last one's gonna be Triple H.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah, he was a very good champion, I guess you can say. Like he was the guy that carried that title and played the ultimate heel, leading into the ruthless aggression era. So yeah,
Yeah, he was always just Mr. Reliable. Just
right.
The originator of the shovel. So, all right, we're gonna go on to Rachel's next question. So, short, quick answer, guys. She says, "How would you break up the New Day?" Brian, let's start with you. By the way, I just want to say real quick, during our Money in the Bank prediction show, we all picked different people on who was going to represent the New Day, and I think we briefly talked about this might lead to a breakup. So I think Kyle, you picked Kofi. I think I picked Big E, and I think Brian, you picked Xavier Woods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brian, why don't you go ahead and take it? How would you break up the New Day?
I think at this point you don't necessarily break them up. You just split them up. They just do something different. You don't have to break up every single group that comes around. Let them break up, do their own thing, or not break up, split up, do their own thing. You can still sell New Day merch, and you can always it's just so easy to come back to.
I don't think the New Day is breaking up. I honestly,
Yeah, you just don't have to.
I don't think it's going to. I somehow, for some reason, see, and it's tough, but they're gonna have to wait for their contracts to be done. But I think eventually we are going to see the New Day face off against Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in a tag team match. I think there was a reason why they did what they did with the Street Fighter thing and featured it on the network, and they featured Kenny Omega. I don't think they would be doing that just for the hell of it. So I think there's something behind this that we're not exactly being told just yet, and I see a future of something with the New Day when the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega both come over to the WWE. I don't think New Day splitting up anytime soon. They can't. I don't see them. I don't see a reason why. I don't think a singles run out of Big E would make sense to me, so I'm just gonna go with that.
Gotcha. And for me, I would have to say the best time that they would have done it is at Money in the Bank. If one of the New Day members had won, and it would have been great if that would have been the perfect opportunity to win this briefcase, and basically it guarantees you. It doesn't guarantee you. I mean, Baron Corbin has lost, and Damien Sandow has lost, but it almost gives you a guaranteed win for a WWE Championship title, and it makes sense to whichever New Day had won basically says it's now time to cut loose ends, and they attack whatever members of. I'm gonna give Big E as an example since I picked him to win the Money in the Bank. Maybe Big E holding the briefcase, he clotheslines both guys and says, "Now time to get rid of the extra weight." And I want to say, just because if one member decides to leave, it doesn't mean that the other two can't stay a tag team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Big E could possibly go into a solo run. With his personality, he could be a good heel. I don't want him to go back as Dolph Ziggler's silent bodyguard, if you guys remember that. How he used to come out with that powder like LeBron James and clap that thing. I don't want that. But I think Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods can stay as a tag team for the New Day. And
they can have like a search for like a new member. I can see them doing that.
Oh, get R-Truth. R-Truth is now on SmackDown Live. My bad. But yeah, so for me, the Money in the Bank would have been the perfect time to actually do it. So, all right, we're going to go into our next question from Rachel. Real fast, guys. Who is the top 5 wrestlers in the world right now? Specifically, she says all around. So, guys, from any promotion, top 5 wrestlers. Brian, let's start with you.
Top 5, wow.
Geez, man. I mean, I guess this question's relative. I mean, people like to say Omega and Yokonaki and I don't know what else, but you can't be the top guy if you're not in the top company. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just like saying a minor league player is better than an MLB player. It's just... So, I'm going to go strictly WWE 5. Performance-wise, I mean, in-ring, Rollins.
Okay.
Balor. I mean, Styles to me is number 1 in the world. 2 more. Jinder Mahal and Samir Singh.
No, you did not say the number 5 as Samir Singh. Please tell me you didn't just say
and
that.
You're just lucky I don't remember the other guy's name. Or it would have been 3, 4, and 5.
Samir.
No, Samir Singh and...
Samir and Sanu.
Oh, Sunil, there you go. There's Bali 1 and Bali 2. I don't know.
The Bollywood
Jesus
boys.
Christ.
Yeah, 4 and 5. I mean, women-wise, Charlotte, number 4, and...
Okay, yeah.
Number 5.
If you don't say Asuka.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't get it with Asuka either. I would go...
You will one day.
No, I don't get it.
You will one day. It's okay.
I would even go
Grasshopper.
I would go Bailey over Asuka.
Wow.
I said it.
You are huffing paint. I'll go ahead and say that.
And this coming from Kyle. Bailey's actually one of his favorites, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going Bailey 5.
Okay. All right, whatever.
Whatever.
Okay.
Just because honestly I can't fill up 5 great guys right now.
Fair enough. All right, Kyle, favorite 5.
I'll go all
from
around
any
here.
promotion.
I'll go from any promotion. And I'll put number 1 because I've watched a lot of his matches because I wanted to see what all the hype was about since first hearing about all the hype and watching a lot of his former matches. And I've paid close attention to him and I've critiqued his matches like crazy and really wanted to see what he was all about. And I think I've watched enough matches to put him at number 1. And I'm going to say Omega is the number 1 wrestler in the world. Right now, it's insane what this guy can do in the ring and what he can accomplish in the ring, and I know he can work with a lot more people than what he's worked with so far. I mean, we saw what he did with Chris Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom, and that was probably one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. That match was so fucking good. So Omega, I put him up there, number 2, and it sucks because I would put both these guys in number 1, and I'll agree with what it goes to what Brian said. AJ Styles, number 2. AJ Styles is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world as well, but I would definitely put Omega slightly over the top. Could you imagine a Omega and AJ Styles match? Holy moly. Number 3 was tough because I really wanted to say what actually Tonic Coin 29 put one of his people in the chat, and that was Will Ospreay. But Will Ospreay, I'll put it in a different category. Number 3, I actually have Okada as the number 3 best wrestler in the world right now. The guy is insane. I love his finishing move, the Rainmaker. I love when the announcers go crazy with it. the guy has produced so many 5-star matches, not even just with Kenny Omega in New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you guys haven't watched any of his matches, I highly suggest you go watch it. Not even just against Omega, his other matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The guy is so charismatic, and he just has a ultimate ring presence to him. So I put him up there. Number 4, Daniel Bryan. Obviously, I love Daniel Bryan. Guy is literally legit. I love his wrestling style. The guy could have a great match with anyone in the ring. He carried the whole Big Cass feud and made Big Cass look good, for Christ's sake. So he's got to be in my top 5. And number 5, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is just the ultimate pure athlete in the WWE and one of the best ones in the world. So those are my top 5.
All right, very good. And let's see here. For mine, this might be some odd picks. I'm going to go with AJ Styles, of course, my current favorite right now. Seth Rollins. This might be an odd pick, but I'm going to be Cody Rhodes. Really liked him. Very sad to see him leave. I hope he comes back. Dude's really young. He's in his early 30s. And let's see here. This might be another odd pick. John Cena. And it might sound cringe, but this guy is really, really... as cringe as he is, he's a really good wrestler. So I'm going to go with John Cena. And last one, I'm going to go with Tonic Coin 29. Surprise, Brian. Brian, did you say it? Jericho?
Yeah, I mean...
you got to do it.
I mean, he
at
in my
his age,
opinion,
he's doing really good. At his age, I mean, you can still
Jericho is one of the greatest of all time, but right now, I mean, it's not that hard when you're doing 2 matches a year, you know?
Then I guess Brock Lesnar's the best.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. All right. So, guys, that's our top 5. Let us know what you guys think, either on Twitter or in the live chats. Moving on, guys. Rachel says, who does Velveteen beat for the WWE title? Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Why don't you go first? Is Velveteen Dream going to beat Brock Lesnar? I'm kidding, but who does Velveteen Dream beat for the WWE title?
God.
Dude's very young. It's going to happen someday. Very young.
I'm trying to think. If he's beating anybody for that WWE title, it's going to be AJ Styles, to a point where AJ Styles can be okay losing the title to Velveteen Dream, or even like a Seth Rollins, or even, I put as far as, I don't want to say it, but Roman Reigns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess Vince went to the XFL.
Yeah, at this point, I hope he does. At that point.
All right.
Like I said, I honestly don't see any reason why Dream needs to be on the main roster for another 4 or 5 years, which is what I hope they would do. So if that's the case, it has to be one of the younger guys on the roster now that's already up there, like an Elias, or who else is up there? A KO maybe, because AJ is not going to be around in 5 years. Brock's not going to be around in 15 minutes. So it has to be like an Elias, someone young that's going to be in the main event picture in about 4 years. So Elias, take your pick of one of the young guys.
That's a good pick. For me, I would have to say, and I honestly do believe this guy is still going to be creeping around in the next 5 years. I'm going to say Velveteen Dream beats John Cena for the WWE title. No, seriously.
I'm out.
Hey, Triple H still finds a way to get into WrestleMania every single year, okay?
In that case, you know
he's
what?
going to be back.
I'm changing my answer. Velveteen Dream, MSG, Undertaker. Here we go.
Oh, my God.
Main event.
Is he going to be walking by then? He's going to come out in some crutches, or the walker?
He's going to be in the urn, just hanging out.
Oh, my God, stop it.
Oh, my God.
It's not a magic genie. He's not going to come out of the urn.
All right, guys, we are moving on. Rachel's next question is, and I think this is a pretty good question, Punk versus who in his first match back into the company? Brian, this time let's start with you. CM Punk comes back. He's gotten beaten in the UFC way too many times. Got to come back. Who's he face first?
If he comes back, WrestleMania this year, Triple H. Easy.
That's one of the reasons why he left. He didn't.
Exactly. It's called heat. Who doesn't want to see Punk beat the crap out of Triple H? It's a blood feud. It's everything you need in wrestling. I mean, yes, you want to see Punk versus Styles. Yes, you want to see Punk versus Bryan. Yes, you want to see Punk versus Rollins. But I mean, this is like this Punk versus Triple H is mainstream media. Like the guy that got sued by the WWE versus the guy that's suing. You know, the guy that sent him his firing letter on his wedding day versus. You know, it's bigger than a wrestling match at that point.
Can we at least have CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Triple H and Stephanie at WrestleMania?
No.
Oh man.
I honestly think that's you print your own money with that.
All right, Kyle, going over to you. Punk versus who in his first match back in the company?
Well, I'm going to go completely 180 here. I say, and this is going to be completely biased in ultimate fantasy booking, so it's going to be a great answer. I say he comes back to NXT because of one of the main reasons why he left the WWE, because he was worn out. He was sick and tired of the long travels and being away and being wrestling too many times. NXT doesn't really have that. They do have house shows, but they don't have their whole team go with the house shows. NXT's what? They do a whole taping in one day for multiple shows. I think he'd enjoy being at NXT and doing the whole NXT thing. I think he would enjoy that. And you know what would be a big thing for him? And a big storyline at this point in time, Undisputed Era is still around in NXT. They eventually kick Adam Cole out, and everyone's going to be thinking it's going to be Roderick Strong, the new leader, and that's when they bring out CM Punk as the new leader of the Undisputed Era, and he has a feud with Adam Cole.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. CM Punk, baby. So very good.
He has history of taking over factions with the whole Nexus thing. It's going to be a whole thing all over again, but this time with the Undisputed Era.
That's a good one. All right. For me, see, that's a really good point because I don't think Punk would want a full-time schedule. So if he were to go back to the main roster, it's got to be part-time. Although this is one thing that he always crapped about, these part-timers. I know he did that against The Rock, how he talked about how he was part-time. So, all right. On that point, I don't think he's going back to the main roster too. If he does go to NXT, I'm gonna say CM Punk versus Aleister Black. Why not? Some people said that
a really ultimate match.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. They're comparable, right?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's very good right there. They're in the straight edge thing too. So very good right there. And last question from Rachel. She says, how many Attitude Era stars could hang now? So that's a very broad question. I'm going to say, guys, think of one superstar from the Attitude Era that you think would be successful today. So, Kyle, let's go ahead and start with you.
Holy moly.
Who from the Attitude Era do you think, if, let's just say that character never debuted in the Attitude Era, and they just debuted today, which character do you think would do well?
God.
All of them. I mean, come on. It's the highest, greatest golden era. I mean, The Rock, Austin, just anyone. I mean,
I think they're craving another, like, kind of like a badass like Stone Cold. I'd say Stone Cold, if he was born again in this era and he did the same kind of heel tactics of swearing and all that stuff, the same attitudinal stuff. That's what I think WWE's craving in a real badass type of character. I know Samoa Joe is probably the badass guy right now, but as far as anything higher than him, nothing. So I think it would be like a Stone Cold character for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'd go with The Rock. I mean,
that's who I was gonna pick.
It's. I mean, this guy's just. The Rock is bigger than Austin. He is. At the end of the day, The Rock is bigger than Austin, so he is. I mean, this guy, Austin's making B-roll movies, maybe. You know, this guy's
he's not
a
movie star. Yeah, but
but at the end of the day, we're talking business. Like, The Rock is The Rock. The Rock is The Rock. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
I hope he's The Rock.
Don't get me wrong. I mean,
he goes back as Dwayne.
Austin is huge. He is huge. He's one of the greatest, et cetera, et cetera. But as far as just what WWE needs to just transcend everywhere would be The Rock. I mean,
That's good.
Okay.
I would say The Rock from the Attitude Era is what Kona Reeves could be, but he's not. Oh my God, Kyle, you know my despise, which is pretty sure why you always troll me with Kona freaking Reeves. Goodness gracious.
Finest.
Get out of here, man. So he's my version of Cassius Ono for Cappy. So yikes. Get out of here. For me, I was gonna say The Rock, but I noticed that no one said the women. So I'm going to go with Lita from the Attitude Era. And I'm talking about the Lita with the freaking thong showing, the big baggy pants, red hair.
Come on.
That'd be
Attitude
great.
Era is Sable. Sable is Lita
my
wishes she was Sable.
One of the most vicious power bombs in the business, guys. She once powerbombed Mark Merrow, her husband. So,
But if it wasn't, I mean, come on, guys, Sable. We're talking. I know. I understand you're talking about in-ring performance and great performance, but Sable was the reason why all the college kids were watching. Sable she did the Playboy thing. She did, come on, it's Sable.
Yeah.
all right, Sable and Lita. There you go. So, all right, guys, I will go ahead and do it for Rachel. So, Rachel, thank you so much from Rachel Reen Dream. You guys can find her on Twitter at WWER Dream. Guys, she's a fantastic
Not
gal.
to be confused with Velveteen Dream.
Not to be as much as she would like to. So she's all the way from Wales. I don't know whether she's going to be watching the upcoming NXT tour of London. Maybe, yeah. But we've been following each other. I think you've been following her too, Kyle, for a long time. She actually had very small, not that much Twitter followers, and now, dude, she is totally blown up. She has a ton of Twitter followers. So, guys, make sure you contribute to those Twitter followers by following Rachel at Twitter at WWERDream. And guys, we come to the last fan tweets. It comes from our last contest winner. It is Tonic. I don't know if he's still in the chat. I think he is at TonicCoin29. We're getting to his questions. It's only 2, so let's go ahead. It is his first question. Do you think Triple H would ever pull the trigger on Candice versus Ciampa at some point, and would Vince let him? So, is this right, Tonic Coin 29? Did you actually mean Candice LeRae versus Tommaso Ciampa? Let me know in the chat. But until then, let's go, Kyle. Do you think they would ever do a intergender match, Candice LeRae versus Tommaso Ciampa? She used to do that in before WWE, right?
I
do a lot of
I don't think WWE would do that, to be honest. I honestly think that we would.
Yep, Tonic
we
Coin.
would see.
Real fast, Tonic Coin says it is correct. He did mean Candice LeRae versus Tommaso Ciampa.
I think the farthest they would go would be a mixed tag team match. I can't really see Triple H pulling the trigger on an intergender match just yet.
There you go. Brian, what do you think? Intergender?
I actually think we are going to see an intergender match pretty soon. They kind of hinted at it with the whole Ronda Rousey punching Triple H or roughing him up for a little bit. So I think that was a little seed planted just to kind of get a reaction of how people felt about that. But as far as Candice and Ciampa, I don't see a reason why. But intergender match, 2-3 years maybe, but Candice and Ciampa, not so much.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and agree with Kyle. I think the best they would do is a mixed tag team match. If you guys can picture this, picture Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae versus Tommaso Ciampa and Shayna Baszler. Dude, that would be a really good match. I think so. The story it would tell, I think it would be good. And then they can kind of just split off on its own feud, Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler afterwards.
Yeah, we did get Ellsworth and Becky Tonic, but I just, to the extent of what you're thinking of and what we've seen from Ciampa recently in his matches, I don't think we'd ever get something that hardcore where these two would beat the shit out of each other. I think we get very, very less than that.
I totally agree. That was more of a joke match. If you guys saw, he did like a push up and then he immediately tapped out. So this was like main roster mixed tag team match. They did have the mixed tag challenge though, so you never know.
I think if you really want to be about it and just not talk about the women's revolution and you want to treat everybody equal, then you pull a trigger on an intergender match, because you can't be women's revolution. We're all the same. You're gonna have the same matches, etc., etc. But when it comes down to it, be like, well, but the girls can't fight the guys. You know, when the girl has to, the girl has to tag out when the guy's coming in. It's just, if you want to be equal, just do it. Just pull the trigger. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, it's you're still you want to say women's revolution, but you're still separating them. Just pull the trigger. You know, we had Austin beat the crap out of Lita with a steel chair for about 5 minutes on Raw.
Again, but that was a different
was
era.
great.
I don't think we're gonna see that anymore. I highly doubt we're gonna get anything close.
I'm not saying beat the crap out of a girl with a chair or whatnot. I'm just saying if you're gonna promote it's everyone's equal, then prove it, show it.
Right.
You know, show it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
They had some great matches in the past. You guys remember Trish Stratus and Lita versus Christian and Chris Jericho at what pay-per-view was that? That was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at China.
Yep.
She was IC champion. You know, it's just it's all in the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put it that way, I guess.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Last fan tweet from Tonic. He says, since we have seen some stuff with the UK roster still being in the indies, do you think if Triple H ever takes over, we could see more of that, but with the main roster? He does have an example. He says that NXT's Nixon Noel is doing the promotion Progress as she's still with NXT, and Adam Cole is defending the North American title at Evolve. So I think what he's saying is, you notice how some NXT superstars are kind of still appearing on other promotions. Do you think they'd ever do that for the main roster if Triple H took over? So
if Triple H took over, I highly doubt that when Triple H takes over, that Vince is completely out of the picture. I think he's still going to have his input on certain things, so I don't think they're going to do anything to promote in other brands. I think NXT would continue that if Triple H ever got the call to the main roster, and whoever falls in his footsteps does continue to run it as Triple H would have run it, and they still kind of have that in the contracts for NXT. I can't just to what WWE is at this point and what they are as a company today and how big they are. I don't see them doing any cross-branded promotional work at all. As much as I'd love to see it, even with Triple H running the show, I don't think it would ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know it's not going to be an ROH show, that's for sure. But I think I just saw an article saying somewhere where Triple H said the door was open for a New Japan crossover.
I heard that too.
I saw something like that, so who knows?
I mean, New Japan is big enough. I don't think any small promotions would get.
And it's in Japan. You know, it's the other side of the world. You know,
right.
who really cares? Also, the fact that they've been doing a lot of stuff with TNA recently. I don't know if you guys saw the Hardy, the 24-hour or the 24.
I think that was because we got the library from them for the past.
Yeah, but I mean, just the fact that they're showing and finally talking about Jeff being somewhere else, and they're even Dixie Carter's on the network. I think the door's open, but WWE at the end of the day doesn't benefit from that. The only people benefiting are the minor league guys. Right. You know what I mean? WWE really has no reason to. Why would the biggest company in the world need the small guy? You know?
Right.
Mm-hmm. All right. And for me, sadly, I don't think they're going to do that. For the main roster, I mean, it's like saying, would AJ Styles... Well, that's way too big. Let's think of a lower title. I'm thinking Well, no, I'm not trying to downplay the title, but I'm just saying, would you see Jeff Hardy defend the U.S. title in a different promotion? I don't. It's just... I just don't see him doing it on the main roster.
WWE is too big. It's too big for it to happen.
Yeah, it just...
I could possibly see maybe someone from another promotion doing their title on the main roster, because I don't know how far back you guys watch. There was, I think, an episode of SmackDown where Taz, who was signed with the company, went off to do an ECW show, won the ECW World Championship, went on SmackDown, and then fought Triple H, holding the ECW title. And I was like, dude, that is so crazy. He's holding another brand's, another promotion's title, and he's challenging Triple H. It was just so crazy to me. So
right.
You never know. So other than that was the last tweet ever. Well, not ever, but the last one for the show. Thank you so much to TonicCoin29. Guys, you can catch him on Twitter at TonicCoin29. He is a gamer. He plays Pokemon. I think we all played Pokemon back in the day.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Pokemon Yellow was my jam, and I think I may start playing that again. So, You guys, like I said, can follow him on Twitter at TonicCoin29. So that, guys, that will go ahead and do it for all the fan tweets. Real fast, guys, I'm going to go ahead and run it down real fast. So, guys, a big special thank you to everyone, and I mean everyone, who was in the live chat. So, like Roland and was a Cuba Girl, and I hope I'm not missing anyone. But also everyone who sent in the Cobra Cappy, sorry.
Lots
sorry.
of people. Tonic, Val, Glorious Greg, everybody that joined the live chat today, and our silent listeners out there, we still appreciate you. It is a fan appreciation. We appreciate you.
Yeah, if I can get I mean, I have people texting me, you know, listening for the first time. I really appreciate it. I know you guys do. It's probably, you know, I hope you guys stay. I hope everyone's saying, hey, great show. We'll be back. Great. You know, that's exactly what we're here for.
And exactly. So, guys, we had an absolute pleasure and an honor to promote you guys. But, of course, with only, I think, about 10 minutes left, we got to promote ourselves. Where can you find us every single week? Kyle, take it away. Where can they find this podcast? And how often do we do it? And what do we talk about?
You can find us on Twitter, No Holds Barred WP. You can follow us on Instagram if you're into that Instagram thing. Like, oh, I know we haven't really been active on that, but No Holds Barred WP is where you can follow us on there. You can follow myself, the self-proclaimed greatest host of the show, at Real Kyle Masters on Twitter. You can follow Hollywood Michael Chow at Michael Chow TV, and you can also follow Brian, the modern-day main event Maharaja, at Heel Turn 21 on Twitter. If you guys want to listen to us on the go, we have iTunes, we have Stitcher Radio, and we also have Spreaker, which you're listening to us right now if you're listening live. It's a great and fantastic and, best of all, free podcast app that's available on Android and Apple devices. It is free to download. It lets you make a profile for free. You can chat with us live on the air when we are live, and allows you to listen to previous episodes of the podcast, comment on it if you want to comment late, if you weren't on the live show. It is a fantastic app, so check it out, guys. And also, if you want to listen to us on YouTube, if you prefer YouTube instead, it'll be on there as well, youtube.com/NHBWR, and you can hit that subscribe button, the little bell icon. Everything helps. And it lets us also know how many people do listen to us on there as well with that subscriber count. So thank you for that. And that's how you can follow all of us on there. You can also check out our sponsor of the podcast, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. They have provided the prizes for tonight, guys. They specialize in pro wrestling and MMA apparel with over 50,000 t-shirts, sweatshirts, costumes, DVDs, and pendants in stock. And the best part of this website, it is free shipping. Yes, I didn't stutter. That was free shipping to the U.S. and Canada with any order you have on that website. If you live in the rest of the world, you have to buy 3 items and your shipping becomes free. But I guarantee you, once you check out this website, you're going to want to buy more than 3 items. And the best part of it all, we have a special promo code if you ever want to use that website. Use promo code NOHOLDS, all in capitals, on checkout, and you save an extra 10% on your order. And one lucky fan per month that uses that promo code will also receive a free gift from ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. So go check them out, guys. They are our official sponsor of the podcast. God, there's a lot to take out there. But we do appreciate all you guys for interacting with the show today. Unfortunately, Spreaker is coming to its wit's end. I wish we can get more into the show, but unfortunately, we do have to wrap it up.
And we'll be back next week, too.
We'll be back next week. You can check us out every single week. The Lowdown Shows is basically the base of the show. It's where we talk about NXT. We read your fan tweets on the show. We also talk about the main roster segment of the show that is hosted by our very own Brian at Heel Turn 21. He hosts that part of the show with us, and we have some discussions. And we are always live right here on Spreaker. So join us in the chat, and while we discuss the main roster a little bit, but the main focus is the A show in our minds. Well, most of us. And that is NXT. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning into the show. I think that's about it, and that wraps it up for me. And congratulations to all the winners today. An early bird winner, Ramsey Sadao, I don't know how to say it, at WWE Ramsey on Twitter. We'll be in contact with you for your early bird prize, and also the random t-shirt winners for the trivia contest, Datila, Val, and Tonic29. Thank you very much. I got nothing left. You guys have anything left?
No, like we said earlier, thank you guys. This has been probably one of the funnest shows since I've been on. It's just, every week it feels like we're getting more people, more ears on us. And so, I mean, we're here for you guys. We do this. I mean, NXT is great. I have to sit through the main roster, but hey, as long as I get to come on here and talk to you guys about it, it's all good,
Absolutely. I want to say, dude, honestly, the wrestling community, it's good. It's bad sometimes, but it's great when it's great. The wrestling community is just one of the best in the whole world, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to be watching wrestling for over 20 years, and it's so great. We're gonna do another fan appreciation episode, guys. Trust me. If you guys loved it tonight, we'll do it again in the future. Right. So that's enough from me.
So that is going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, for us here at No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, the Lowdown Show. Thank you for tuning in to Fan Appreciation Night. Again, you can follow all our outlets that I've named off before. Check out our sponsor, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. And I'm your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, joined by my two co-hosts. Number one, he is the co-host that runs the West Coast, Hollywood Michael Chow, and also the modern-day main event Maharaja, Brian at HeelTurn21 on Twitter. Guys, we will see you next week when we're back for the Lowdown Show as regular scheduled on Friday nights, reviewing NXT and the WWE. So we are always reminding you right here on the Lowdown Show to keep it on the Lowdown.
Show me